PLTR. Stock downside here a little bit to start things off this morning. Welcome to Fed Day. There is still a very, very tiny chance that we might get more than a 25 basis point cut coming up this afternoon from Fed Chair Powell. I think more importantly, it'll be about what he has to say going into the remainder of this year and into next year, his final few months here as Fed Chair. That's a look at the overall Nasdaq right now coming off. It was a bit of a sell-off all day long yesterday. We ended the day back towards where we started or ended 2 days ago. Lots of things to talk about this morning as far as the overall sentiment here. A little bit of question marks as far as yields are concerned, specifically short end of the curve. Back to the downside here this morning. We've seen since the beginning of the month the long end of the curve come back to the downside, different from August. August, we saw a real steepening on the long end of the curve, 10-year and the 30-year. Yep. Really took off. That has come back in. So again, I think the most important thing this afternoon will be about what Powell has to say about not only the remainder of this year, but going into next year.
And the dot plot, we get the economic projections, Brenda. We don't get that often, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Definitely want to see exactly what the Fed thinks of the economy going forward, as we're expecting different things from different members. So Stephen Moran will be actually able to vote today. He's widely speculated to be dissenting to a quarter-point vote, probably looking for that half point. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, Brendo. Yeah. But yeah, the 10-year has been hugging on to 4% for the last little while. It hasn't broken down. It's a key technical level here on the 10-year yield, just right around 4%.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people making the argument that that's where we should be paying our attention to right now, the 10-year and the 30-year versus the shorter end. I mean, bigger companies, tech companies specifically, don't really care about, the short end of the curve versus what's going to be happening.
And we know Donald Trump really wants to get the real estate market up and running again, and we know that mortgages a lot are based on that 10-year. So the lower that can come down, we can get some better rates and drive demand up a little bit.
Speaking of, Trump in the UK today, so I'm sure we'll get lots of comments as well on what the actual decision comes through as this afternoon as far as what we get, a quarter point or 50 basis point cut. Other things to look at this morning, not much to look at yet, but STUB coming to the NYSE later today. We'll also keep an eye on MetaConnect today and tomorrow, talking about AR and VR, I'm sure, once again, for Zuck and crew over there. Overall, guys, the market a little bit weak here to start things off. Good morning.
Good morning, but you left something out there, Brandon.
Brandon doesn't care,
So, well, we spoiled it yesterday. We spoiled it yesterday, but happy birthday, Sean.
Yes, thank you.
Turning 27 years old, I believe. 27 this year?
It's 28 this year.
28.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
28.
That's my bad.
A big 2-8.
And also to Mike.
Pretty soon you're going to be able to flip those numbers around.
Oh, get out. No.
Oh, man. I don't want to be closer to the flip around them. Oh, yeah. Keep it going. Thank you, Sharif. That was a little bit rough right there, actually.
Special delivery?
Oh, it's peach time.
We were just talking about the peaches this morning.
Were they good?
They've been really.
Yeah, I think
Ontario
this is the right
peaches
time.
this year have been really good.
This is the right time for Niagara.
Really good.
Yes, Vladimir, if you think I'm 28, then I have a bucket of beans for you as well. And if you plant them, they grow like crazy, and they actually grow and they produce stock certificates, and you can grow one and plant and get a free Meta share and this and that. Yeah, it's actually really great.
Make sure if you give one to Sharif that it's the stock certificate specifically Manu. Yes,
okay. That's his one there.
It's his favorite stock.
Should be a good one. We do have a STUB hub today, which should be hopefully a good birthday present. We'll see how that one goes. But as Neil was mentioning, it actually priced below its range. So, well, in its range, but not above, which is we've seen many stocks price above. So, yeah, I don't know. I got a little bit of a sore throat here today. I don't know. I think I was talking too much yesterday, but bean stocks. Yeah, bean stocks, not bean sticks. So, but yeah, we're excited here today. It's also my brother's birthday, so we're Irish twins. We're born on the same day, but a year apart. Isn't that wild? So, anyways. Oh, and you know what's the craziest thing?
What?
I gotta look it up because Marissa sent me she saw it last week. The most common birthday is September 17th. I swear to God, I have to Google this. I have to find the proof of this. There was some sort of a chart that she had found, and it was like the most common birthday in the history of birthdays was September 17th. I think it has something to do with New Year's Eve.
Oh, well, that's all I was going to say.
9 months later happens to be that. But apparently, because she was looking at it and trying to find all the kids' birthdays, and we were looking at it all. And
it's believable. It makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I know you just typed it in. Most common.
Darth Trader just said it. Well, ChatGPT just told me the 9th.
Okay.
But September 9th. But Darth Trader, all top 10 birthdays in the U.S. are in September.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. This is asking ChatGPT. I'll have to find there was some sort of a chart that Marissa had that was highlighting all the days, and then the 17th was the one, which I guess makes sense. You know, January 1st, a lot of people on holidays, New Year's Eve, a lot of people.
Well, this can't be that hard.
Partaking in different events, and then you get 9 months later, and then it's the second week of the month. Yeah. So do you have that chart? I don't know. How do we make that bigger? Right. Okay. So there we go. Where's the set month?
9.
17.
This says 12th and 19th. I mean, it looks like 12th and 19th.
Yeah, 12th and the 19th there are the hottest there.
But you can, it's really...
What are the worst
but
there?
Like this week right here.
That's you. You're the worst.
Yay. Well, the 25th.
You're right there. Yeah.
You're there.
Oh, you know,
but that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess. Does it? I don't know.
No, does it? No, it doesn't make... Hold on a second. That doesn't... Why would it matter? For December, why is that so unlikely? You're just gonna. I'm not leaving the party to go to the hospital.
It doesn't really seem that right, but
the least common birthday is the 25th.
Anyways, yeah.
Why would that?
We're in the most common week. It looks like right now, depending on what chart.
Thank you, Reddit.
That's the United States. Oh, okay.
It's the U.S., but I mean, whatever. Like the sample size is pretty large.
Of course, it should be the same worldwide, I would think.
Yeah. Well,
Randy, what month is your birthday in?
December.
Oh, there you go. So you're one of the uncommon.
When in December? I'm December 2. Oh, you're
12. Where does 12
That's near my brother.
Oh, 0.99. Okay, 12 is actually pretty right there, the blue one. That's actually pretty hot.
One of the more common.
Nice. You're one of the more common birthdays in the United States. Good thing you're a U.S. citizen. Yeah, good thing you're a U.S. citizen.
All right.
All right. Yeah, that's what it is. You have to look 9 months earlier. That's what we were doing. That's what we're doing the math. Aren't the Jays playing Tampa Bay, though, or something?
Yes.
The magic number is like 2 or something, isn't it? Or,
well, I mean, we'll go into it. It's a lock. You just want to make sure that number 1 seed. But
yeah,
these one-run wins, or I don't know.
You don't want to have that first round. Any kind of playoffs you can avoid is worth avoiding. So yeah, hopefully StubHub. Thank you for all the birthday wishes in the chat. Obviously, thanks Neil, thanks Sharif, and everybody around here as well. But yeah, I'm just hoping that StubHub's a nice birthday present. We got some the Fed coming today, which should be pretty good. I mean, it's all. I don't know. I'm not even going to look at it. Is it? I mean, I will.
98.5, I'm guessing.
Oh, is it 98 now? Okay, here it is, right here. Yeah, it's no, it went down, Neil. Other way.
No, because it went up.
Yeah, I'm saying this was not 98. This is 96 yesterday.
The 50 basis point cut is alive.
It's a live dog. Hey, man, that dog will hunt right there.
One chance in 6.
I'll take 6% there. I mean, I don't know. I think it could be fun. But again, we don't know what the market would do if that were to happen. I think it would rip up, but we'll wait to see what comes today. And will Donald Trump get his wish, you know? Will Mr. Too Late be Mr. Too Aggressive today and possibly cut double? So we'll see. That would be a nice birthday present. But the thing is, it's not like, even if it got the double rate cut, I'm not necessarily selling anything, though. I don't know. Who knows what to do?
I don't love the double cut. I'm not a huge
fan. No, I think stay the course, right? He's been saying 1 the whole time. Stay the course. Show that you're not receiving like all that undue pressure from political side.
The other thing to keep in mind, we get economic projections and the dot plot, and we also want to see a look at how unanimous this is, because you could have an interesting situation where you've got dissenters that don't think you should cut at all. But then you might also have a couple that think you should go 50 basis points. So you could get the quarter point, but then have on either side.
There'll be more dissents.
Yeah, there's more dissents.
What was there, 1 or 2 last time? I think you're going to have
there was a couple. I think you'll see a couple here, but you can see them in both ways. So yeah, a lot to cover.
If you dissent, you keep your job. Well, you don't have the gun pointed at you.
Well, it depends on which
Trump
way
will be like, I like those guys.
Because like I think there's a couple that might actually say no. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it makes sense, but there's a possibility that you could see 1 or 2, which is another interesting tidbit. And then they'll have probably some pressure on them.
Imagine there's no cut.
No. Actually, no. I don't want to.
There's no.
I don't want to imagine.
According to that chart, it's
I don't want to imagine that.
No, 94 plus 6 is 100. They're deaf. Right.
Hold
so there
down
definitely is no chance that the market is
open door halts down if that happens.
Open door halts down. Oh, if that does happen, yeah, they're not.
They would halt down.
The interesting story is NVIDIA here with China, trying to influence, and you got Alibaba all the way to the upside and NVIDIA downside. So NVIDIA downside there, Neil had Baba up, but I'll just show you. I tried to buy. I didn't try to buy. I put a bid at 152 or whatever I told you guys yesterday. Never got hit, but there goes Alibaba up 2.5%. As Chinese government saying, hey, buy domestic. And it will be all good. So we'll wait to see. I mean, we know Trump is trying to travel and talk with President Xi, and we know Jensen's in everybody's ear as well. But I mean, is this a bubble that's eventually going to pop if all of a sudden China demand goes out the window for NVIDIA? That's a very good possibility, I feel like. So, oh boy, I don't know. I have cash on the sideline. I don't really want to do much right now.
IonQ moving around.
I have NVIDIA. Yeah, people keep saying IonQ.
They made an acquisition.
I'm not really in any.
It's really the story. Like they made an acquisition, and it seems as if the bull rally, and also up is going to be Rigetti on this as well. Like I was double checking, Rigetti making a bit of a move. It's another 52-week high for IonQ. Like look at this stock the last 3 or 4 days. It's just been blasting higher. So if it can hold on, it's just one of those. If it takes the stairs up, you have to withstand a dip at the open. Both of the last 2 days, like the stock has dropped like $3 at the open, and then $2.50 at the open, and both times ended up rallying for the rest of the day. So why expect anything else at this point? Like I said, lots to get to today. It's going to be a busy one for sure, but it also should be a fun one.
Hit 7.
All day long action. Let's get back to the desk.
All right, a couple other things too. I was actually looking at a chart, guys, last night. Happy birthday, Sean, by the way. I was looking at a chart last night on the history of 50 basis point cuts, and it was going back over, I think it was the past 6 or 8 50 basis point cuts, and it was going to make the argument essentially that you don't actually want to see a 50 basis point cut today because the past 6 or 8 actually followed significant negative events in not only the world or the economy that they were trying to offset, potential downside from. So. Yeah, I mean, this article was essentially saying we actually don't want to see a 50 basis point.
No, and you haven't gotten the data to support it. Sure, we got a bit of a weaker jobs numbers, but it's by no means recessionary, Brendo, nor is it, outlying so much that you need an emergency 50 basis point cuts. I think really what this comes down to is Donald Trump's, desire to boost the housing market and to kind of get things ahead or have the economy a little bit stronger ahead of the midterm elections. This is really what is going to come down to. He wants everything to be a bit stronger. Whether or not he gets his wish, we'll have to wait and see, Brendo.
There's this article this morning. I just brought up Disney. It's not doing anything, but this article this morning from Refinitiv or Reuters, essentially pointing to the simple fact that YouTube is on track this year to eclipse Disney media revenue specifically. So YouTube as a platform going to take out Disney as a revenue source, the media side, by the end of this year, which is insane.
I'm not surprised by that at all. To be quite honest with you, obviously Disney a lot bigger of a company than just YouTube, but just looking at historical patterns, what are people doing? I gotta just tell you anecdotally, on my cable subscription, Nickelodeon as well as some others, they're gone. They've gone dark because they're asking too much from these cable companies. They're going direct to consumer, and what better direct to consumer is there than YouTube?
By what was it, Q1, end of Q1 of this year, according to this analyst, anyways, YouTube on its own, $500 billion.
That's crazy.
As a standalone, which is absolutely crazy. But Google, guys, a couple of interesting days here. Disney not really doing much.
I was just looking at Disney. It's really not doing anything.
What a surprise.
No, well, Alien Earth is fantastic. If you haven't, if anyone is a fan of the Alien series, like they are doing it absolute justice with Alien Earth. So they can actually do a franchise. Fabian agrees. They can do a franchise and not screw it up. That being said, they're not Alphabet. It's Lockstad Alphabet. Yeah, nothing really happening on Disney, but every single day it seems like we're getting a fresh all-time high in Google here. Whether or not we can break out today's seems a little bit skeptical, but you can. Sometimes the pre-market action is deceiving with Google. Go back to Monday, you had a high 252.5. Yesterday in the afternoon, 252.5, and then at the open, you rejected that same price. So this stock very clearly It's 252.5 on the stock. You break that, I think you make another run at the all-time high. But on a Fed day where you could, sometimes we get inside days, and that can manifest itself with individual stocks as well. So if we can't break out that top, I'm not that interested in Google today. I want the continuation play for longs and Alphabet. Not really thinking about, oh, let's go cratering to the short side. I think I'd look at the chips for that. Like specifically AMD looks pretty good for potential short. But yeah, if we can get through 252.5 on Google, I think you make another run. At, I don't know how many days it's made an all-time high this month. Most of them, a lot of them, probably more than half.
And there goes that thing about buying stocks at all-time highs, right?
Yeah.
Like if you bought at the first all-time high, you'd be long at 230, and now
240.
You know, and then if you buy it today at another all-time high, then next week when it's at, anyways, I think Disney looks a lot like Netflix stock actually here, like where we made that top back in June-ish and the high of the summers, and then we've just fallen underneath. We're underneath the 50-period moving average. So what I was going to say is why not just do something like where you just spread your money between the three names? I mean, Google, Netflix, and Disney. And if you had like 10 grand, we did a thing about having, you know, 10,000 seats. It's almost the exact same height there, June 30th of the summertime, where all these made highs and then they've fallen back in. So I was going to say, like, let's just use the math early, easy. If you have 3 grand, why not just put a grand, or 7, 14, or whatever the math would be there, making more in Google, of course. But yeah, I think content's something. I think streaming is very, very important. We hear Paramount and Warner Brothers and all that coming into some sort of a deal. There's going to be some sort of a, I don't want to say like a capitulation in this space, but like I just read Amazon has now NBA games and Netflix has NBA. Like they're all getting sports. Oh, that's what it was. Amazon got the Masters. They got rights. Finally, the Masters is only ever.
That's big.
Yeah, so they don't.
The Masters, yeah, that's.
The Masters actually doesn't sit in one specific spot because the Masters controls their own shots. They don't let anybody else film it or anything like that. But for streaming and for actually putting it out, yeah. So they got. I don't know what rounds they have.
It's a good get.
But it's a great get, right? So you can watch it, I guess, on ESPN, TSN here, CBS, and now apparently Amazon is going to have some part of the Masters. And we know Apple's into F1, Apple's into MLS, UFC is now Netflix as well. There's some Netflix fights on UFC. Yep. And there's also the wrestling is over there on Netflix, and then there's also boxing, the last one.
Canelo was on Netflix, yeah.
Did you see, though, that Canelo fight was, they got half the viewers that women's fight did because, and again, it was Jake Paul promoting. So the Jake Paul fight got 100 against Tyson, got 171 million.
It's not the same.
The Canelo fight got 41, and then the girls fight, the Serrano fight, got 70 million, and Canelo only got 40 million. So that was not the most watched fight, but apparently a pretty good one there. So yeah, I think Netflix, Disney, and Google all work, but obviously if we had to make a choice, I think you choose with the one that's been rocking. And to your point, we both have kids, and I mean Google is just like all the rage. And YouTube is just all over it.
All we watch.
My kid literally sits down and like I'll be watching like Part of the Interruption or NFL, like football, NFL Network. Like this year I was literally watching NFL Network, and she came home from volleyball and was like, "Dad, can I turn it?" And I was like, "Fine, whatever." I've been sitting there watching it the whole time. And then, yeah, it just goes right on YouTube.
Yep.
And she just like, boom. And then she picks up her phone and it's probably on YouTube again right there as well. So it's like, how many shorts can I watch at once? So it's absolutely insane.
That's why you don't need TikTok. YouTube Shorts are on fire. Mike, everyone
TikTok
watches
needs to be careful, actually.
No, it's so true. Like it's actually, before we go back to the desk, like look at Oracle the last couple of days on this. Like Oracle has been like, since earnings, yeah, okay, they gapped up on earnings, but every single day, like, all it is sell, sell, sell. Yeah, a little bit of buy, but then most of the day sell. Like, most of the price action on Oracle has been overwhelmingly sell outside of, call it like 1 hour on Monday going into, and that was in the pre-market. Like, when the market is open this last week, Oracle is selling. It's crazy when you get like positive news with this TikTok stuff. But we do believe we have some upgrades and downgrades. Maybe somebody wants to upgrade this stock. I'm guessing, man, you got a downgrade, though. It's just a wild guess, Joe.
Well, we'll see what we got on the list here, Neil. And happy birthday, happy 27th birthday to Mr. Katina Man. So shout out to him. All right, guys, on the upgrade side, we got a BV getting that nod from Bernenberg to $270. And then we have Kroger by Roth Capital getting that price target raised to $75. And then Kilroy Realty Corp getting it raised to $47 by Scotiabank. And then we have Polo Ralph Lauren, yes, by Telsey Advisory Group, getting that price target raised to $350. Now, Evercore ISI is downgrading FedEx, lowering that price target to $243. And Eli Lilly by Bernenberg, once again, lowering that price target to $830. Now, Five Below also getting it by Bernstein, price target to $160. And then Camden Realty Group, price target lowered to $106. Now, as for some options activities, guys, let's see what we got going on for some calls. Yes, this is yesterday's options data. So at the top of the list here, we have NVDA. If you look at that $180 strike price, you have approximately 94,000 shares or contracts were traded on that day, with the open interest still standing at 109,000. And yes, that's this Friday's expiration cycle. And then Tesla as well, to 107,000 contracts at that 420 strike price, yes, with still 107,000 current open contracts. So that's a good look. And then yesterday's expiration on the Qs put in 298,000 contracts at the closing. Very little open interest. That contract has now expired, guys. So look at today's expiration or Friday's to see what the Qs are up to.
Right, yeah, that Tesla just can't get away from 420. But
it'll get away from there today about 2 o'clock.
Gravity, well, yeah, 2 o'clock I think is a bit of a different story. But Lilly with the downgrade on Eli Lilly, because yesterday this bounced off the 50 period and started to look like huge bottom and tail candle on the daily. Clean run up ever since. It's like back into favor, sort of. And I know there's going to be the argument that Novo had good news and Novo might be bottoming out. Fair enough. Lilly's still better. And the 50 period holding, upgrade, downgrade, whatever, that 740 could be a little something interesting if that takes it back in, because that would be that aforementioned 50 period moving average. And yeah, like I said, Novo Nordisk does seem like it is bottoming out here. Potentially. Like fewer side effects with there, so they might not lose as much, but you have fewer side effects. And this has a pretty good bottoming pattern. Both of them holding the 50 period moving average. This does feel a little bottomish. I think if this can break out above $60, specifically on Novo, might be a nice little swing opportunity here. It's been trending down for, all year, really, but going like halfway through last year as well. This has had no turn in sight, just been an absolute disaster. Not all good in the GLP space. This one's losing a bunch of weight.
Yeah, good one. I was going to say there was always talk, since Broadcom joined the $1 trillion club, there's like I think there's 9 or 10 companies now that are valued at more than $1 trillion. And everyone thought that it was going to be Eli Lilly, and it may still be. But JP Morgan right here is $850 billion right now, market cap, as it's really had a huge run. And Eli Lilly is 700 million. So right now, Eli Lilly versus JP Morgan. What do you think hits it first? Eli Lilly or JP? Why isn't my chart changing? There it is. Blue Ocean. Eli Lilly or JP Morgan? So JP Morgan has a nice lead. It's 850 versus 700 right now.
That's a lot. That's a lot to overcome. I love the banks this year, obviously.
Yeah, they got to go up another 15%.
Yeah, it's too close. Based on where Lilly is in the chart, it's like, okay, well, I think it has a decent potential for a little mini bounce here, or a secondary bounce, but it's asking a lot to play some catch up and something which I think has a clearer path to just glide higher. I don't think you have as much risk of significant pullback with bank as you do with Eli Lilly, because
that's why I think the answer for me is Eli Lilly, because I just think that
potential is
I think it gets there quicker. I think JP Morgan, if I told you, because it still needs to go 20%, right, to get to that. If it's at 850, it needs another 150, so it needs another 20% to get there. Eli Lilly on positive data on something like that can go up that much almost in a week. Like JP Morgan, although I think the steady climber, as far as an investment, I would, again, if I had 10 grand, I'd put half in each. But yeah, I think Eli Lilly and JP Morgan, very, very interesting. The only non-tech name that is worth $1 trillion is our friend Berkshire. So Berkshire, what a great move that had back to the upside since beginning. it hasn't been great, but it got crushed down there in the end of 460. And we were all wondering, like, why is the Nasdaq and S&P 500 and all that at all-time highs while we're chilling out down here? Well, we realized that Berkshire has a lot of cash on hand, and with the interest rates going down now, cash on hand is not necessarily a great thing, but then they did put some money to work. We do know that there was some UNH buys and a few other names going through there. So Berkshire, the lone trillion-dollar company that is not solely an IT play, and of course Berkshire more like an ETF and an index rather than a company with a few products. So, all right, yeah, StubHub today. A lot of people warning about that. It's going to come out. I would think. Yeah, I mean the big announcement is obviously 2 o'clock with the Fed rate, and I'll say earlier than one. It's an NYSE one, which is a problem. We had Klarna was 130 or something. Something else was 108. No, maybe it was Klarna was 108. Yeah, and then one of them recently was 130. That was a pain in the ass.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm hoping not for that. I'm hoping for 12 o'clock. That's it. Like, you know, President Trump is like, oh, let's do quarterly reports, semi-annual reports. I think that's very dangerous. I don't think that'd be fun. But I do think that, like, if they could figure out the IPO game, maybe. What's going on?
There should just be there should be like set times.
A Waymo partnership.
Yeah, partnership with Waymo to expand autonomous mobility into Nashville. So that's for LYFT. Of course, Waymo, like that, don't expect Google to move on that headline, but certainly LYFT up 8% now with that headline. Just again, LYFT and Waymo launch a partnership to expand autonomous mobile to Nashville. See, not just Uber can go. LYFT, I mean, LYFT is doing its own things too. This is a 52-week high for LYFT. How many names do we have to say this? This is the kind of market we're looking at. So they go up, another 52-week high for LYFT. Oh, sure, well, I guess, yeah, a new one. It didn't make one yesterday. I guess it came close yesterday, but it broke it today.
Desk.
Yes.
I was just going to say, I hope they have very good car cleaning facilities in Nashville, if that's going to be the case. If anyone's been to Nashville, I don't know if you'd want to be getting into an autonomous vehicle in Nashville.
A lot of fun, eh, Brendo?
Oh man, it's a wild town. Let's put it that way. Workday. I was just reading a note here on WDAY as well. Elliott, $2 billion into WDAY Elliott Management, activist investor, obviously. $2 billion into this. This comes out after the close yesterday. Not a lot of volume behind this, but big move here.
Yeah, it's a big move, and it's a good basic look. Usually when Elliott comes in, they want to disrupt and they want to change the management. That's not what they want to do here. In fact, they actually voiced full support for the current CEO and CFO, calling them proven leaders who have driven strong progress. So this kind of the investor emphasized confidence in Workday's multi-year growth strategy. We know Workday welcomed Elliott's actually involvement here in a separate statement, though they did not comment on any specific strategies that they'll be employing as a result of Elliott coming on right now. The alignment with the Elliott suggests, though, reduced activist pressure, Brendo, as both sides appear cooperative. We also know that there's been acquisitions by Workday. They've been buying up a storm, $1.1 billion acquisition of an AI firm called Sana. That follows the purchases of Paradox and Flowise back in the summer, Brendo, reflecting really a clear push here to embed AI across all their platforms, and Elliott liking these acquisitions because they're investing subsequent to 3 acquisitions.
I was just reading a note here on TikTok. The announcement yesterday comes through with the US and China reaching a deal on TikTok. There wasn't a lot of details on that deal. This was about 20 minutes ago or so, almost when we first came on here this morning. But apparently China has confirmed that TikTok's US app will continue to use the Chinese algorithm.
Oh boy.
Our friend Kevin O'Leary was the first to say yesterday, okay, great, there's a deal, but at last we spoke, that deal wasn't going to include the Chinese algorithm. And if that were to be the case, then what are they actually looking to buy in the U.S. assets of TikTok? And we spoke on the Oracle side of this yesterday, but again, about 20 minutes ago, China confirming that TikTok's U.S. app will use the Chinese algorithm.
This is what we were talking about on the midday. I put it to Joe, I put it to Adara. Is it going to be a U.S.-owned TikTok algorithm? You know that they've been protecting that with their life because that's really the bread and butter. I don't have the answer to that, and we'll have to find out on Friday when President Donald Trump and President Xi speak. It's widely expected that the deal will be announced after that. 90 days was granted yesterday for the extension. Brendo, my research also shows that existing U.S. TikTok users may actually have to download a new app. So I don't know if that's going to be part of the deal or what the details are going to be on Friday, but that's what I'm reading so far. So we'll see.
I mean, to me, that just means they've found a way or have the ability to separate U.S. data and the rest of the world essentially into two different server areas or something to that effect. Point. So Oracle not really doing anything on that, guys, but that's huge if that is in fact the case in the way that this plays out.
Yeah, it would be big. But Oracle, like we were saying, Oracle just can't seem to find buyers at all. Like once the market opens, it seems like it's a little bit of a dump fest. Meta is like, I don't care, we're just going up. Snapchat also, I mean, look, Snapchat's not going to move anything crazy, but Snapchat didn't care either. Snapchat caught a nice little bounce, and we've already talked about YouTube and Google doing just fine. I think, the name that we'll watch in the space for this story that matters, I don't want to say matters the most, but might move the most is, again, this Oracle. I just come down to, like, it's price discovery after the earnings. Then you get the TikTok news, and they're still selling it off. But until you make a fresh low, this is somewhat of a consolidation. So if we get another dump session today, not a dump session is the wrong word, like strong sell trend on Oracle, look around at the two obvious places, at $290, and then right here, it's just underneath the 300 level, like where we've seen buyers come in, because there's been a lot of double bottoms and the stuff where it comes in and gives you a nice little clean bounce. So I think Oracle, hopefully this morning, if it bleeds on into the afternoon, I promise you I'm not trading Oracle during the Fed. There'll be better things to trade during Fed. But Oracle's definitely on watch because it's been a lot of sell, and then it'll catch these like sort of obvious bids throughout the day. And when you get one, then you can sort of ride it into the afternoon. So it's worth watching out for again to see if the sellers come in.
I was actually just looking at Uber there. Uber taking a nice move down here on that LYFT news there. So not great. LYFT and Waymo getting together now. We just actually talked about this yesterday with Adair and I on the show. I didn't realize Uber got to $100. And we were already, topping out at some levels, but we said we kept on bouncing off of the 50-period moving average, right? And so right now you're getting another chance right here to buy some more right now. Eli Lilly just announced some kind of results. Right there. So nice move higher for Eli Lilly right there. I don't know what it was. Oh, there's Lilly's oral GLP-1 orgolopron. That was nice. Right here. Superior oral semaglutide in its head-to-head trial. So it's superior to its oral. So there it is. So anyways, whatever. We'll get that all figured out. I just heard it come through, and I wanted to see if Eli Lilly was moving. But yeah, I think for Uber, I'm going to add this right now to the list. I think this is an interesting name to get some longs in. I don't think that's just because you make a deal with Waymo for Nashville. I mean, Uber can also make similar deals, and I don't see why Waymo would, unless it was an exclusive deal or something like that. I really like this. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Uber here coming back in. I'm going to add it to the watch list right now as it's fallen down on Lyft. And here goes Lyft right now as well, getting to the upside. I mean, maybe there's more money in Lyft than there is in Uber. Maybe we should just be going long Lyft instead of worrying about catching the falling knife with Uber. So let me have a quick look at this. I mean, what a great name this has been, from 13 up to a double there from August. Like this is a double in a month right there for Lyft. It's a triple from its April lows. Wow, okay. Man, I thought Uber was one of the only games in town here. It looks like no, Lyft right here taking off. So congratulations to Lyft shareholders. What a move that's been. A double up in a month? That's crazy. There goes Lyft upside and there goes Uber downside. So yeah, let's figure this out because I still think there's room for more than one of these names. And plus you still have robo-taxis all up on there. So yeah, great name there, Lyft taking off. So congratulations anybody in that one. All right, we've got our watch list. We've got a few things to run through today. So let's go back over the desk and have a quick look at what the market's been doing.
All right, guys, 66, 67. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES December contract. We're on that new contract now. It's doing almost twice the amount of volume as the September contract, which expires on Friday. The overnight high, guys, 66.74, but we did glance at 6,700 very momentarily yesterday. 66.96 was yesterday's high. Looks like we're, just holding above that 50-point area. In fact, the 50-point area is overnight low, so we'll use 66.50 as resistance and continue to use 6,700, Brendo. Sorry, 66.50 as support, 6,700 as resistance.
As always, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you take a sec, jump down to the description of this video. Top link there will get you to the sign-up page for the watch list. Welcome to Fed Day. Welcome to StubHub IPO Day. There's going to be a lot to consider, a lot to understand this morning. Top of the list this morning is NVIDIA. Yeah, this China problem continues to be a problem. Beijing straight up banning these now.
It's exactly what's happening, Brendo. The China Cyberspace Administration, CAC, ordered top tech firms, including Alibaba, ByteDance, Tencent, you know the usual suspects, to cancel purchases and testing of NVIDIA's new RTX Pro 6000D, which is a China-specific chip. Not yet the B30A that's built on the Blackwell. We haven't seen samples of that yet. This is the 6000D. The directive escalates earlier guidance that targeted the H20 chip, expanding restrictions to NVIDIA's newest China-tailored product. Several firms that had begun testing and placed large-scale orders were told to immediately stop work with NVIDIA's server suppliers. So we'll have to see how this ends up going, Brendo, but you gotta speculate, at least at this point, that this has to form part of the negotiations between President Xi and President Trump.
Yeah, I mean, how much of this is just posturing? In a press conference, Jensen saying, this was earlier, we can only be in service of a market if a country wants us to be. I'm disappointed with what I see, but they have larger agendas to work out between China and the United States. Wow. So even he's pointing directly at that same fact, guys.
Didn't include China in their last queue for guidance, and we know why. And as long as it's a negotiated point and a bit of a problem, then you're gonna weigh heavily. As Joe already mentioned, there's already a wall there at 180, and I think it'd be asking a lot for us to get to 180 today. I don't see it, so I'm not sure how that can be the level. It's an obvious resistance spot if it got anywhere close to it, but it just doesn't seem at all likely. Certainly where we closed was a little bit of support at the 175. I do like that notion to want to short some pops here, at least going into the Fed. I mean, all bets for a lot of things are off at 2 o'clock, and you sort of shift into a different mode. Seeing what Powell does at 2:30, and certainly what the dot plot is. But before that, I'm just looking to fade some pops in the chip names. I'll admit to a preference to AMD a little bit, just because I think AMD's pretty close to a reasonable test of its resistance at 161, and it's been very clear. Unlike how 180 is the real top over there on NVIDIA that you'd like, I think the 161 area on AMD, that's been it, that and 164. You've sold off the last week, you've been unable to really do much holding above the 161, so that is where I want to short the pop, I think, first on AMD. Look, if NVIDIA gets to 175, I'd probably take a shot there if I'm not in AMD.
Yeah, I have NVIDIA written down here, 175 as the short there for today, and I think it gets there. I think there's a chance that we retrace back up here into 175, but 175 is yesterday's closing price, so just like we picked some of the levels yesterday, we're going to be sitting there looking to short that play back in, so hopefully that can come in for us, and we'll be able to do that. I mean, 175, the high there, 175.50. I think if you go short somewhere around 174.50, run it into here, give yourself about $1 worth of space there for NVIDIA. I still really like the stock, and I want to buy some of this. So maybe going down is not a bad thing here for the name. It does need to calm down a little bit and just come off of that 185, which is the all-time high. And we bounced off there 4 or 5 times. So yeah, for sure to the downside. But again, you're a couple stories away from this breaking higher one more time. I would be surprised if we gap up into here on report that, yep, China will buy everything NVIDIA sells to it. And then we'll see the stock get back to the high side. So again, still waiting for that 165 area or so. I don't have a bid down there, but when when it does get there, I think that becomes very, very interesting. So I really like NVIDIA down there. You know, the stock that I thought was starting to break out a little bit here, and we had a $2 winner yesterday or so on Marvell. We waited for it to come all the way back in, and we actually bought this move right here as it fell, and then we had this huge move back in. I was not expecting this in the afternoon for Marvell, but it is what happened. So now we'll have to wait to see down today again here, as many of these chip spaces names are down. But if Marvell can get into this area again sometime today, I think that's another buy zone. So we'll wait to see. But that was a crazy trade there yesterday that I didn't think was in it, but it was. So there goes Marvell. So I really like this name again. Beat up on earnings, whoosh to the downside. We bought here before earnings, and we bought here after earnings, and now we're about halfway back. So we're still going to be down on that trade in general because we didn't put as much money into it, but I still like Marvell climbing back to the upside. Wait for it to break 70. I think that could happen today on a good Fed continuation. So we'll see if that winds up happening, but I do like Marvell sticking out, matter of minutes out.
StubHub coming up on the NYSE today, 34,042,553 to be exact. Class A shares coming to the NYSE today for StubHub.
Yeah, Brendo, it's coming in at $23.50 per share, which is valuing the ticket platform at about $8.6 billion, give or take. Here's the deal, though. Unlike a lot of the other IPOs that we've been seeing lately, the pricing landed at the midpoint of the expected range. Almost all the IPOs that we've been talking about this year were all well above $4 or $5 above the range. So this one in the midpoint. It's going to be on the NYSE, as Brendo mentioned, under ticker STUB. A little background on the company, guys. Founded it back in 2000 by an individual named Eric Baker. It was acquired by eBay for $310 million, Brendo, back in 2007. Baker reacquired the company later back in 2020 for about $4 billion, and he's been holding it ever since. The IPO has been delayed twice, most recently in April, obviously, when we had the tariff tantrum on Liberation Day. StubHub restarted its listing process in August, Brendo. They're bringing in about a little bit less than $400 million in revenue. That was their Q1 report. $26.8 million in operating income, but they're still losing money, Brendo, about $36 million, still growing. So a very interesting look here. And they initially targeted as much as $16.5 billion valuation before scaling back when the market let them know that that was quite a high number.
If you look at recency bias, these haven't done as well of late, guys. Thoughts here for StubHub?
No, they haven't. And like, StubHub's not in the crypto space. It's not AI. They lose money. Right now, it's pretty small open interest. 130,000 is the net imbalance, and 170,000 paired. I think by this time, on a lot of the bigger ones, we were looking at approaching 1 million in open interest into the open, and some buy imbalances that were pretty decent. It doesn't mean I won't take the opening print. I just the attitude is for myself is going to be I'm just not gonna love the opening print play as much, and I'd like size down for something like this off of the open. It's not that I won't take it, I just won't like it nearly as much as we'll like some of the other ones. So yeah, they're not making the same kind of waves. Maybe this turns into, it's like a couple million to buy and the price gets over 30 and you see those increases. But if that doesn't happen, I'm just reminded of the last one. Like we just had the Gemini. It's not that it gets related or anything, but we just had the Gemini IPO. Let's look at a 15 so you can see. You had one halt up, and then just what they're doing. You get maybe one shot at an open print where it goes up for a little bit. Take advantage of that because we've been selling right off on the recent IPOs. And yesterday, this one lost the shelf and right back at the issue price of $28. So if you got the IPO issue on Gemini, you're flat right now. If you bought the open, you had to have sold it in 10 to 15 minutes. And I feel like that could be the same thing for StubHub. It doesn't mean you can't win on the long. It just means I won't hold it very long.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm going to go long on it and see what winds up happening, but I would like to see that price get bumped up, and I would like to see, again, that interest in the imbalance locator. So I tweeted this out yesterday. A lot of views, man, over 6,000 views. Which choice would you make? Some lady in Montreal there, she chose 1,000 per week over $1 million lump sum. So most people here obviously choosing a million now. Some people saying that they wouldn't be able to not spend it, so they would take the $1,000 a week. Like here we go, referee Ronnie, if you're over 40, take it. If you're under 40, take the 1K. I still disagree because of time value of money and for inflation. Some people had some good ideas. What's up to Ozan right here? This is why we always hit the cow for Ozan. He's saying he would buy 360 puts. Collect the premium and wait to see what winds up happening. So not bad right there. Some other people there. Yeah, what's up to one Mad Daddy? Would buy a condo in Maui. Definitely like that one there. $1 million now. People talking about inflation again, and here it is.
Gonna take the mill.
Yeah, multiply the years out and everything like that. So with my age, I'm obviously taking the million, but to me, age doesn't really matter, honestly. It's $1,000 every single week is nice, but it's going to take you a while to build that up to where you get something special. I think $1 million now invested at 8%. That's your $2,000 a week. That's the thing, just an interest.
That's the thing. If you're taking the one, it's because you don't trust yourself, and if you don't trust yourself, then just put it into make an investment that allows you to get the cash out. And anybody can, and any accountant or lawyer can handle that pretty easy. It's a pretty simple thing to do.
And I would just buy all Big Bear AI.
Yeah, if you don't trust yourself. Maybe that breaks to $6 today.
Oh, does it?
Well, Meta's broken $6 a while ago, but Big Bear AI right to $6 yesterday and trying to break it again today. Oh. There was a big buy and balance on them. We'll keep an eye. If there's another big buy and balance on Big Bear AI, it could be a nice punch at the long, but that's neither here nor there. I think most people are taking that 1 minute.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. I just saw, I saw it, and there was a lot of people that worked. I saw it on social media, and some people, it was like 50-50, and I was like, what? I think it's pretty easy to do the million, but we're in finance. And
I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed.
So I just wanted to say, like, because we had that discussion last week about taking, the $1 billion, whatever it was, on the lotto ball.
I just don't think they have, for the Powerball, I don't think it's like the way that they don't
well, there's taxes and like all that stuff. I don't know.
That's a little more complicated.
I always like taking the lump sum, man, because then the money's in your pocket, man. And you never know. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. I hate to talk like that, but it's just like, if you get the money now, you can distribute it as you wish. Give it to family, let them spend it.
This is the other thing. You can help out families.
That's the unthought of thing there. Like maybe you want to put your parents on the vacation of their lifetime or something like that, or they want to go into a better home or something. Like I don't know what the situation would be, but I think that there would be some reasons for that. All right, there's some stock called Meta. Like Meta, come on, man. Could you pick like a worse day? We got, get out of here, flies. We got StubHub coming in. We got the Fed, MetaConnect today.
It's not till tonight, actually.
Oh, okay. Let's go find out what's up with Meta.
Yeah, nice couple of days here for Meta, straight to the upside for, what is this, 3 in a row, working on 4 maybe here. We're back to 780 for Meta ahead of this.
We're knocking on the door at $2 trillion, Brendo. We're really close to that $2 trillion market cap. Let's talk about what we're expecting. The big headline today are going to be these Hypernova glasses. So Meta shifting billions in spending from VR headsets to smart glasses, seeking more of a mass market opportunity. The new device, as I mentioned, codenamed Hypernova, is going to debut tonight at the Connect event. Widely expected to be about an $800 US dollar price target. The glasses include a small display and neural wristband control, and it's built on Meta's partnership with Luxottica. Reality Labs, the division of Meta that was responsible for making this, reported a $4.53 billion loss in the last quarter, and to date, Brendo, since 2020, the division's lost about $70 billion. However, smart glasses are seen as a lower risk, more scalable product than VR headsets, so we'll have to see how Meta's first consumer smart glasses with a display do. $800 is, on the higher end of the range. It's certainly a lot more expensive than the $300 price tag for the Meta Ray-Bans.
I was just double checking. Zuck wants to go head to head with Powell. Like it's 5 p.m. Pacific time. So it's starting at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So he's literally going to be talking. I mean, the decision's first. Powell doesn't come out until 2:30, but he's going to be on at the same time.
Joker.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of the whole glasses thing. But it ultimately doesn't matter what I think. But yeah, you just I'll be the person that resists. Connect glasses. I like Meta stock. I just that's not going to be a thing for me. But we'll see. Like it does make sense, sort of like the lower price point and barrier in terms of getting more kind of a mass adoption of it. And I get it. Meta wants to rule the next wave of devices, whatever that might be. And I think that's a lever they should pull, can and will. Ultimately today, this is not a stock that I want to trade. I think we were talking about this in the context of like Amazon did, Meta did, Apple didn't, and that's bounced off the 50 period. And I think when we go forward past the Fed announcement to this afternoon, I do believe like a sell the news on the event or a sell if the Fed pops us to the downside, that's the place that I would look on Meta, but not an intraday trade for me, potentially 2 o'clock. If you see it just somehow magically to the 50 period or later on this week, I think that's a buy zone. Sell the news on the event here for Meta and buy it back up at the 50 period, similar to what Apple did, although I'll grant you Apple didn't quite get there. It was still a good buying opportunity when they had their event. You know, kind of drifted down for a couple of days and made that bottom at 225. And it's right back to where it was after the iPhone reveal. So I'm looking for that pattern in Meta. If we can get it, then buy the dip possibly tomorrow or Friday.
If anybody works at Meta, man, send us some glasses. We'll try them out. We'll be able to sit here. We'll be able to show you what it's. We'll be able to show you what it's like to trade and live a life of Neil, myself, or the whole team here. I think that'll be fun. While I was getting orange juice, because I feel like something developing here in my throat. I heard Brendan say it's the other way around because it's 5 p.m. West, so it's going to be 8 p.m. here. Yeah. So Zuckerberg, although that would have been fun to go head to head there, and it wouldn't surprise me, but it's going to be a little bit later. So it's not a market moving event today for Meta.
Tomorrow thing.
Yeah, it's a tomorrow thing or a Blue Ocean. I mean, Blue Ocean available as well, so you can check that out. I made just a funny talk yesterday about Snapchat, and then it blasted off. Like I was kind of like, hey man, buying Snapchat, I mean, you guys remember this, buying Snapchat, it was at 740, so it's not like it's up that much, but it was 2 days ago we talked about it, then yesterday happened. So, I was like, hey, maybe Snapchat, because they were one of the first ones I thought I remember with some of those glasses and some of that idea. Now they fell on their face and weren't able to go anywhere with it, but yeah, this just reminded me of that. So I think that there's some love for some Snapchat there today. I'm not that interested in Meta, honestly. My bag is pretty full on Meta right now, so I'll hold off on it. I mean, a great stock, another monster opportunity to buy that at the 50 period moving average. So yeah, let's wait on it. It's actually doing better than some of the high flying tech names today in the space as far as chip names are concerned. So yeah, Meta with the new form factor, I think it works. The big point is going to be the pricing. If they decide to, come out at that $300 price or what that's going to be, I think that's going to be the needle mover. There's no doubt in my mind for pricing wise. That's what it's going to be because the technology is going to be there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. And people will adopt that technology. So, all right, that's Meta right now. Alibaba, one of the strongest names in the tech space right now, breaking out, has already broken out, continues to get that Chinese tailwind on it. Eventually, it might turn into a headwind with NVIDIA, but for right now, definitely catching some drifts positively. Alibaba, hey, they found Jack Ma, so that's always a good thing. So that's a joke from about 5 years ago.
Still safe.
Where no one could find where Jack Ma was, and then all of a sudden they found him, and Alibaba stock went up. I think he was just on the golf course this whole time.
Pretty much.
So, all right, let's.
I got to correct something I put in the chat there. Gorilla signs a $1.4 billion contract. I might have mistyped it in the chat, 1.4 million. Obviously, that wouldn't be a big deal. But GRR, $1.4 billion contract with Fryer Singapore to build Southeast Asia's AI data center. So Gorilla Technology spiking on that news, and Baba spiking because it's Alibaba.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, obviously 8 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow, guys, the keynote for the developer side is going to be 10 a.m. Pacific. So that one we will be able to cover on Thursday. So let's continue along here. Alibaba back to the upside here on some AI news today. Pretty good week here so far.
Not bad at all, especially for the ADRs too, Brendo. They're all strong on the day. But the headline today with Baba is they're going to deploy AI accelerators from their subsidiary called Ping Tong, T-Head, they call it there. While Alibaba doesn't actually sell chips directly, customers can access these chips via computing through Alibaba Cloud. Alibaba has not yet issued a formal statement on the release of this, so this is all being sort of shared informally. Here are some project details. So China Unicom Telecom, which is the second largest telecom company in China, is going to use Alibaba's computing power in a new data center in Qinghai province. The project will also include chips from MetaX, not Meta, MetaX, and Byron Technology, showing, that diversified domestic sourcing strategy. The move, though, Brendo, does underscore Beijing's broader effort to reduce the reliance on NVIDIA, AMD, these sort of American tech companies, more for a domestic alternative.
Coming on the day where China also says hard pass to all things NVIDIA as well. So what do we do here, guys, with BABA?
I kind of hope we get a dip to be able to buy it, because that's what's been happening recently the last couple of days. BABA's been on a healthy run here. We always talk about buying the dips and what that looks like in a quality company, and they make money, they pull multiple levers, their valuation is not ridiculous when they compare favorably. Their cloud growth was better than Amazon's over the last quarter, just if you're making that kind of a comparison. But the last couple of sessions, maybe not as much yesterday. It was a small dip at the open yesterday. There was a big dip on Monday. There was a solid dip on Friday. A solid dip that held the breakout price. Dip into prior high. Dip into, and there was no gap up yesterday, so it was a dip kind of into afternoon support. So without any afternoon support to look at, I'm looking at dip into the prior high. It's a little bit far away here, but Alibaba is perfectly capable of dipping into 163 and dropping a couple bucks into the open. So that's the plan, kind of the dip and rip strategy. And you've seen it make some pretty solid bottoms when it dips and then trend at least until like the middle of the day when volume tends to slow down on the Chinese ADRs. But even yesterday it powered through well past that. So looking for that 163 on Alibaba. This is another one of those examples. You like the 200 period moving average, buy a stock when it hits it.
Yeah, look, I put a bid yesterday at 152. We talked about it live. It didn't hit. Yesterday we opened up around 158 or so. So I was hoping that it would go down $6. Instead it goes up $6, and now we're up $10. So yeah, that high probably gets broken at some point here today. So I would say, very long Alibaba 166.50 if it breaks. I don't have it on the note today. The sticky note is out, but that 166.50 looks pretty good to me. You can't really zoom out and find it, I don't think. It's been a while since we've been up here. So it's already sort of clear sales for Alibaba. Here's a bigger chart. Let me just go over to maybe how much do we have to expand out? Yeah, see, so maybe a weekly chart to see what Alibaba's high is 300 and change, right? So we still have a little ways to go. Yeah, I don't think you really see anything here. That's 170 top, so that would be fine to get to there. And then that's 180. So it feels like there's some sort of consolidation areas, maybe around 180, where eventually Alibaba stops. Right now, you're about 50% retracement from its highs, right? 320 back into 160. So that's exactly 50% now, retraced from its all-time highs. So, and it's also made like a double from its lows there, but that low is kind of whatever. You're looking more maybe at the April low there of 106. So you made 50% up on the 106 on that April low and 50% back on that retracement. I think this is about where it needs to be. So looking to maybe sell some or get out. I still own Alibaba, but not as much as the other big tech names, obviously, but into here 180 I think is the stopping zone for Alibaba, and I really do hope that we can get there in the next couple days, and then I can sell and get into some cash right there for a potential move back in, because I do think this is such a fundamentally strong name, but does have those political headwinds. So that's it. Like any problems about in China or any talk about Chinese weakness or anything like that, I do want to buy Alibaba and Tencent. So I want both of those in the portfolio like ASAP. So all right, that's Alibaba, Tencent. I like the Chinese names, but you can just buy FXI and get a hold of them all, or KWeb.
Get a little couple of different EDD that way too.
Opportunities there. Yeah, I think so too, Rainmaker. I love Marvell under 70. We've talked about that a couple times. All right, let's go find out about another Sikino play, OpenDoor, one that's always on our mind on the show.
Magnet to $9 right now for OpenDoor. We broke it briefly early on this morning. We're right back there once again. That was that level Mitch was talking about yesterday. Seems to be a thing so far the past couple of days. Yeah, it's been a little weak lately, Brendo. Today they do have a new headline that looks like they are announcing their plans to broaden their real estate service offerings across the entire continental United States, so all 48 states, sorry, Alaska and Hawaii. The expansion will include direct cash offers, cash plus options, and collaborations with partner agents, kind of to provide more flexible listing services. We know that they're aiming to capture, obviously, more sellers and buyers seeking convenience and speed. And OpenDoor's kind of really leaned into this technology focus to disrupt traditional real estate transactions. Brendo, the company's model could gain momentum if the housing market volatility continues, and consumers may prefer the certainty of cash offers in an uncertain environment instead of listing it and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Worth noting, significantly lower volume yesterday on the way back down versus the past couple of days that were much, much higher, obviously. So we'll watch whether or not there's participation. Fed coming up at 2 p.m. this afternoon. We'll be back on a little bit early for that, guys. Best of luck with STUB.
Yeah, one minute to go to the open. BBAI is actually a sell imbalance today. 400,000 shares. NEO buy 800,000. Wolf, WOLF, 500,000 to the buy side. I swear I saw Open Door over there for a second.
I think it was small, couple hundred thousand.
It was small and now gone. So yeah, kind of gone there. But yesterday, Martin Shkreli said exactly where he was short at $9.36. This is exactly when he mentioned it, and it kind of fell from that price. So if it breaks out,
where are you sitting?
If we can break this out, like 940, I think there's a breakout potential here. And it's more psychological than anything else, right? You get above like the afternoon resistance or all day resistance, and it happens to be prior support, and it happens to be where Shkreli shorted it. I like the breakout at that price. If it loses 880, I think it's underneath that price.
10 seconds.
I'm not looking long. I'd be thinking short. Oh, shoot, 10 seconds only.
Yeah, 10 seconds only right here. So this opening bell is brought to you by VinFast. Scan that QR code, find all about VinFast, ticker VFS on the Nasdaq. Go find it out. VinFast. Tesla we didn't get to too much today, but there it is. We are now open. Welcome to Fed Day, everybody. The water is warm, I think, today as we wait. But all right, here comes Alibaba. It looks like it is going to take out that 166.50. We can wait to see if that winds up happening here again. I don't have the bid to punch the long, but we just did make a move up into 166.50. I think that's going to be a break long, but we got to let this settle down just a little bit. The Nasdaq now, Rip City back into the highs now for the Nasdaq, going higher. Now green. We started the day off, and now we are up. NVIDIA, just quickly, we always look at the big names early, not doing a whole heck of a lot. What's Tesla doing off that 420 level? Down today off 420, but we'll wait to see if it gets there. I actually didn't realize it was all the way at 415. 415, a good support level right there, it may seem like early on for Tesla. So we can watch out for that 415.50. Not trying to do anything too crazy. StubHub coming later on today. It was Uber that caught our attention early. And then look at this.
The Lyft news. Yeah.
Wow. All right, Uber, $93.50, $97 right there. Uber all the way back. I said there was room for both of these names, obviously, to win, and it looks like Uber right now.
Well, Lyft gave almost all of it back.
See, there you go. So I thought that was a little bit too of an aggressive move. Just because you sign a deal with Waymo doesn't mean that, it's an exclusive. And I didn't read the story, so maybe it was. But anyways, there goes Uber, nice move.
Yeah, and Lyft, not all of it back. Lyft is still up 13% on that Waymo Nashville announcement, but it was up at $26.50. It's just dropped $4 and still heading back into the downside. Baba's trying to fill in the gap here.
What is Baba doing?
So I think Baba's got a chance. I mean, priority high is 163 in Alibaba, and look at it start to sell off here. I'm sitting in front of 163. AMD has not popped up. That's the other one I'm looking for, in front of 161 to fade it as the market goes in a little bit of a false break of that high just now. And we're starting to head right back down in. And yeah, like not into anything yet.
No.
BBAI was a nothing burger. Just want to throw that out there. The $6 break from yesterday didn't break yesterday, doesn't break today. So I guess we're still waiting for the $6 break. Well, I am anyways. I mean, they can do what they want. I'm waiting for a $6 break on BBAI, just nothing happening yet.
Yeah, I was trying to think about Alibaba down here, but it's not.
Oh, open is flying. What the
Open
heck?
is flying. Okay, that's good. Maybe that was the bottom there, 163.80 there for Alibaba. Let's try. Okay, well, we just tried and we missed, so let's try again. All right, so now we're in this right now. Let's just see if it wants to hold that low right there for Alibaba. That low right there, 163.90. So we're going to go long right now in the 20s. We'll see if it wants to hold out. Hopefully it does, but if it doesn't, let's get an order in right now. It's not going to. 163. Let's go set. We're not we're less than a unit right now. So I want to get longer in this name if we break 165, the 200 period moving average. But for right now, we're long at 27s on Alibaba. So let's see if it wants to work. A break lower on this, so 30 cents away right now. We'll take a 50-cent hit, right? So well in the pocket there for our appropriate hit size. So let's see what happens here with Alibaba. Our first area to get something out would be 164.75. So let's try to put an order there. And just go 1-to-1 because here it goes. It's going to go down. So we're going to get stopped out. Offers are out, and there it goes. So we'll slap a fail on that first try for Alibaba. Well within our limits there. It looks like the market's heading lower ahead of Fed, as NVIDIA is going lower as well right now.
Yeah, and Tesla just broke a low of the day. Ooh, I just got triggered, so probably is coming down to that 163. The other thing I'm looking for outside of Alibaba is this open door. It held that 880 level. It did not break out, and I'm not making it up. Shkreli said 936 was his price, and that's a level if you look at yesterday. So that's why I want to look for a potential breakout there. But I want to buy the dip first, if I can, in open door back into the volume weighted average price. And Alibaba comes into that 160 prior day high, 163. But the market's still heading to the downside here. I want to wait for 163 proper, if that's a better word, because I'm in the $0.50 right now, proper, to see if I can get more, and then every $0.50 I think is a place to take some profit. So the only thing going up right now is open door that I can see. Everything else headed to the south side. Yeah,
we just punched short there on NVIDIA. It broke its pre-market levels there, and we wound up going short. So this is what it looks like on a 5-minute chart for me right here, breaking some of these wicked bottoms right there. So now we're short on NVIDIA. We talked about the Chinese headwind there today. So here it goes to the downside. We've taken out a couple fills now in the 50s. So let's just see if it works. We're now short NVIDIA. New play for me, 171.73 short. Now on NVIDIA, we've made it all back. Well, not if it's in the 50s, we made it back there for Alibaba. We actually take a little bit more shares on this one than we did on Alibaba. We took about 3 times the amount. All right, what about a break back of 172? We can get in and out of these ones real quick. Look, Fed Day is tough, so we got to be careful that we don't do things too wrong here. 172.40, 172.50, that looks like a little bit more of an accurate area for me there on NVDA. So we'll wait. If it breaks back above, let's give it $1. If it breaks back above 172.50, we'll get out of NVIDIA. We've already taken out so far about 15%. So here we go. NVIDIA short against VWAP 172.50. I forgot to restart the thingy. Oh, the board? The visualizer. We're going to get to that in a quick little second. So it just dip bought into 9 on open door, and then we got into that Shkreli price at 936. I think I'm not making it up. There's actually a seller here. Maybe it can punch through, but I want to take it to that level. And this is yesterday's resistance, obviously. So play it from support to resistance. If it pulls back, buy the next available dip. I only want to look long on open, so I'm hoping it holds out to VWAP all day long and going into the Fed, because if we get a 50 basis point cut, I don't think we will. That's the other place. That's one of the places I wanted to look. BBAI breaking 6 was going to be the other one. So Alibaba just held again the 163. I did not get filled in the 20s, unfortunately. Was able to get only the $0.50. I'm sitting at 22. I'm going to cancel that and move it to the north side of 25. We get there again. This is a VWAP retracement play for me. When you're trend down like this, you get to the volume weighted average price, take it out, because the market's still falling like this. So if you get a bounce, you got to take the profit for sure. Oh boy, this is day goal made. I mean, I only say that because it doesn't, my goal is going to be different than everybody else's, so it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to show you guys that you can hit your levels real easy if you make a couple good trades. And there it goes right now for NVIDIA. And I told you we had 3 times the shares of NVIDIA that we did on Alibaba. So there it comes into the downside. A great looking trade here, hopefully for me on NVIDIA. So we'll just wait and see where this one goes. But there it is, man. That's back a couple days in a row. We've hit it pretty hard off the open there and been, treated well by NVDA. So there it goes to the downside. We're just covering more and more down here. I'm actually out of half right now as we get a little bit lower. I'm underneath 170 right now, so hopefully, 171. We're at 170.80s. All right, maybe we just bounce a little bit. I'll put a bid at 02 here, see if we get those again. But we did it again right there. So let's just hope that this market, I don't want to hope it to go down. It doesn't need to go down that far. I mean, the Nasdaq's only down 0.15 here, but we're starting to cover. There it is, man. It is your daily goal met right there on 2 trades. The L on Alibaba, fine. We didn't take that many shares, and we told you about that. But we did take a bigger, much bigger position there on NVIDIA. So far, so good here. I don't know. I'm getting a little nervous here that maybe it doesn't come all the way down. But there it goes. So nice move there. I am bidding 170.82. I don't really know why, but let's see if that comes into play. And just a little bit of a longer look here for NVIDIA. Yeah, like, 170 is always going to be a level. So that would probably be something. I don't want to have too many shares left if we get down to there. I won't. So let's wait to see. Let's sit on our hands a little bit and be somewhat patient here. You could give it all back, or we could start to get some out. So that's why we decided to do that. NVIDIA falling to the lows now. And again, it's the #1 trade idea on this sticky note was to go short NVIDIA. So we're short NVIDIA. It's pretty simple go for me here. StubHub not doing much. We'll keep going over that as we go. Yeah, it's still at the top here.
Yeah, StubHub, maybe 500,000 shares of total open interest on that one. So it's starting to look a little bit better, but we're so far away from that stock opening up. We don't have to worry about it. We're going to get to the visualizer in a second. Baba, he's rejected 164 twice with a topping tail wick, although now maybe it goes, but there is one topping tail. There's a second topping tail. Bought in front of 163. That's the level we liked on StubHub, or on StubHub in my brain, on Alibaba. And OpenDoor, we're able to get that long. I'm gonna restart this. Remember, type $ in front of the name, and we're gonna give this a fresh start, because I know LYFT had news earlier. You know what? For some reason, I have to full screen it, I think. Yeah, that's weird. I have to full screen it. There you go. Now I'm gonna give it a fresh start. Type $ for the names that you were interested in. So if whether it's OpenDoor, I saw SoFi just get put in there, that'll all drop in, then we'll have an idea of what it is that you want to be covered. We know Tesla and OpenDoor are always gonna be top on the list. We wanna make sure we get every name that is of interest to people. Well, the seller that was at 164 is now abated. So just barely missed the ad in front of 163 in Alibaba, but that is continuing to be super strong. Martin Shkreli's short is now 11 cents out of the money. On OpenDoor, it's at 936, so maybe a little bit more than that. I'm buying dips on this one as long as it holds a volume-weighted average price. So we bought the first dip. Let's see if we can't play into the second one. As the market comes down, there's not much strong outside of OpenDoor and that little bounce we got in Alibaba.
Market's still going to the downside. As Neil mentioned, we are still loving life over here. Welcome to Trader TV Live, where the winners are hopefully plentiful. What's up, Adara?
The name that's strong here is actually Workday, WDAY. In case you guys missed it, Elliott Management, an activist investor, disclosed a position in the stock. So WDAY actually not at pre-market highs, but holding up quite well in this market. Back to you.
Yeah, I saw that Workday. We saw Eli Lilly earlier as well. Well, here we go. It is a dollar club right now. So we've had dollar club for NVIDIA, but it could bounce back. I mean, the market's now had quite an epic start to the day, falling back in. And we got to represent this level from this morning. I don't know what was up with that, but that's 3 a.m., so maybe there's something happening right there. More and more covers happening, obviously, on NVIDIA, which including right now. It's bid 11s, which you just got right there. So yeah, just trying to cover some more of this. We only have about 40% left. So let's see if it wants to continue to go to the downside here. That's what we're doing. Uber had a nice bounce. Did it continue? No. So Uber right now is still down that 4%. We'll see where that wants to go. Had a huge move back up to the 200 period moving average and was surprised that it went up that fast, that right back to where that news started, and now right back down in. So maybe 93.50. We had Uber written down for $90, but that VWAP, or sorry, 50 period is at 92.60. So that's also a potential play right there as well. Oracle's at $3 billion.
No, I missed Gemmy.
Oh no.
Gemini did break that $28, but it's not every day you get past the IPO price or the IPO open of a stock, the volume goes down every single day until you get a catalyst, and then liquidity isn't going to be what it was yesterday. But it held 28. That's the issue price yesterday. It broke down underneath that today. You know what? I don't know why I canceled. I'm just going to leave the order out there. Like, why wouldn't I just leave it out? And if it comes back to 28, I just pick it up there. Don't want to miss it. If it bounces back, I want to make sure I get a chance at that. We have an IPO on StubHub, but the older IPOs are still moving around as well. So I want to keep some eyes on Gemini. Right, here comes OpenDoor back into the volume-weighted average price here and trying to make a bit of a bounce. 915 is VWAP. It's just a line on the chart, but on the dip, I'll look to see if that's where the curl is going to be first. $9 is psychological. $8.80 would be yesterday's low and kind of a big level for that. So open door is what I'm looking at here next, unless there's some kind of a crazy pop that gets me short Gemini.
All right. I'm still just doing my own thing here, waiting to see what winds up happening eventually with NVIDIA. Okay, there. I mean, we were long at Alibaba, and unfortunately, we got stopped out once it broke that 164, and then 163.75. So that has now retraced back up. We knew we wanted to go long the strong name, but to find that bottom at 163, could have we done better for that? I mean, even in worst case scenario, I think we're kind of looking right here. So that could have been possible, 163 even, but it looked like 162 maybe was the drop zone there where you're looking to pick something up, and we didn't quite get there. So there goes Alibaba. Nice move to the upside, obviously, for that name. I'm going to get out another piece of NVIDIA right now, just a little bit. I wouldn't say I'm nervous about it, but it's a really good winner to start the day here early. And with the market making this kind of a move back, it could give me 81s. I'm bidding 81s. It went to 82 there. I just want to get, okay, there it is. And the reason is like, that's a pretty dramatic move. Maybe we do eventually bounce. We do have the Canadian interest rate happening today. There goes NVIDIA, man. More, Randy. Give it to us right there. Now $1.30 in the money. And NVIDIA, I don't know if you can read this, Randy, but that says NVIDIA. Yeah, and what? Short. Okay, good enough. Thank you. There it is. So even Randy reading the sticky note right there. NVIDIA short, Randy, and right now it's $1.60 as it continues to go to the downside there for NVIDIA. Bleeding. Rivian, I don't know. I'll check that out in a second there, Randy. But there it is to the downside. We've got to cover a little bit more as we get low. Okay. Rivian for Randy. Let me see this.
Rivian has a wide range.
And change. Yeah, not much going on here today for Rivian. Flat off the open, but up 1%, so that's nice. 10 seconds until Canadian interest rates drop. But there it is, man. NVIDIA dropping like the rates will drop today, quarter point. So there it goes right now, downside. Canada's also supposed to get quarter point. Yep, yeah, they got it. So they got quarter point there. So that's in right there for NVIDIA. But hey, man, put those hands up if you've got some big ones today. There's the face slapper for NVIDIA, man. It's my whole day, and it's so far so good. I know you've got...
I only had two. Yep. We took open long. We're looking to get open long again. Like, I feel like if you're going long today, it better be a small capper. Well, I shouldn't say that because maybe like you can find like a defensive name that's strong with tech going back into the downside. I haven't looked at some of those other names. Baba, oh goodness, Gemini. All right, now I'm canceling the order on Gemini. Gemini just broke 27. Gemini's falling. Now you're now well out of the money if you bought the issue price on that. I got to cancel. If it's $1 away from my price, there's just no point even trying to chase it. Open door is continuing to squeeze higher, now 7%. It didn't quite get into VWAP. I was sitting at 25 and 22s for a reload. We're buying the dips on open door. And Shkreli, you made your move. The thing about Martin Shkreli is it's psychological. Andrew Left, or a big short seller, is obviously... If they got squoze, there would be a much bigger deal if they had to liquidate. I wouldn't imagine it matters too much if Shkreli has to get his position, but psychologically, the fact that we're breaking out above that price, next available dip on the way to that $10 level. And then just checking back on Alibaba, like it's still holding higher lows, but if I can't get 163 again, then we'll wait. It's at VWAP and pulling back in, I think, with the market. So as long as the market is staying weak, wait for any long positions that aren't doing their own thing. I believe we are going to Adara.
Just be aware here, guys, ahead of the U.S. interest rate decision this afternoon, Bank of Canada, with its interest rate decision here, they cut by 25 basis points. That was in line with expectations. Here's the U.S. dollar to CAD relationship. As you can see, a bit of a volume pop, and the USD pushing higher against the Canadian dollar. Now, ahead of that rate decision that we're going to be getting coming through from the U.S. at 2 p.m. Eastern, we don't have any other economic data to worry about. Back to you.
Oh, here comes BBAI, though.
Okay.
So if the small cappers are the ones that have a chance to go in a weak market, and remember, it doesn't hurt them that rates are coming down. I don't think. At least that's how it's supposed to be. That $6 level on BBAI. Look, I'm going to play this the same way. I still have my trend line from yesterday, which was once it broke out about 575, buy all of the dips into the $6 level. So if VWAP holds, I'll treat this one kind of like open door and see if it can't get to the upside. So let me just get a stop first under 570. and then I'm going to go long off VWAP on BBAI. This could be, we'll see how the $6 break goes. I'm going to take the $6 break, but I want to be long ideally before it gets there, just like yesterday's trade.
Oh, man.
I just missed the headline.
I missed what it was as well. Okay, so just real quick. Yeah, I don't know what it was. We were starting to cover down there at 170 as Randy was asking about Rivian. So there's some more covers down near the lows there for NVIDIA. And I was thinking about just honestly covering if we break back above. We were always going to use VWAP, but that would put us basically back to flat. Now, I only have a quarter, less than 20%, sorry, left on this trade. So we'll look for something else. I always wanted to look at Uber today. I mean, we had OpenDoor, Neil just covered that. And then, of course, the StubHub IPO, if many of you are joining us for that, we'll have to wait to see when that comes through, because right now, same tap, 23.50, that's the pricing that they had last night. And then right here on the imbalance locator, it's not doing anything. It was always been 588. So we'll have to wait to see when that changes. Maybe it opens up a little bit quicker if there's not as much interest, a little easier for them to manage that. So we'll see if that goes or not. Micron.
AMD's now number 2.
Yeah, no,
next week,
Micron's
actually.
flying.
Micron's next week, they report.
Oh, okay.
1 week yesterday, Micron reports. They just broke and went green, or trying to go green. But AMD is now at yesterday's resistance spot. So this one's coming all the way up. As market gets back to VWAP, it's about 161.5. This is where this dumped for the last couple of days. So this would set up, this does set up for a bit of a mean reversion here. I might pop a 1 minute up to try to grab this. I just heard in my ear that GoPro's apparently moving. And Yalla Studio, Walmart, that makes sense. If tech was down, maybe Walmart making some moves. But you're at the level for AMD where I would look for the first available curl. Baba's not anywhere, did not get BBAI. Still sitting on the bid of OpenDoor for the next available dip buy. But yeah, AMD, right at that prior resistance. It's like 3 days worth of resistance, but there's still a wall of buyers. Like it just dipped down into 161, and the second it got underneath the 10s, it was right back at 20. There's still a lot of heavy buy action. Got to see the tape turn in this price range first before getting in. Don't want to stand in front of a moving freight train.
No, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, ideally, you don't want to.
No, not yeah.
If you have superpowers, maybe.
Yeah,
if you got like that. If you got that Gen V stuff going on.
Yeah. Which I mean, I happen to have it, so it's fine. But for most, do not definitely stand in front. Yeah, BITF. Some people asking about that one. Bitfarms right here, really starting to go higher now today. Just climbing into the open, and as you can see, look at this move from $1.20 up to $3 right now goes BITF, so Bitfarm right here.
What's the story there?
I don't remember what the story is, but I mean the story's been here for a minute, and I just wanted to look like it had been to $3 before, so I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. Back here in November, so a year ago, we were up at $3, and it just looks like it's coming right back in right now. But right here, just real quickly, man, Beta Pro by Global X is bringing back its annual biggest winner simulated trading competition, now with over $40,000 in cash prizes. This, of course, is including $20,000 in grand prize. This is all risk-free. It's free to enter to all Canadians. Trade with $100,000 in fantasy cash on the Webull platform. We'll look at some Webull stock here soon. Whether you're an experienced trader or just getting started, it's a chance to test your strategy, build skills. So you think you have what it takes to be the next big winner? Sign up today, scan that QR code in your screen now. All right, so NVIDIA, we just took another average in on VWAP right there, so let's reward ourselves a little bit by getting out in the 20s again. So we are reloaded on the short. So Joe yesterday had a great reload on his name. I bit yesterday and was like, hey, look at this, Katina man. Well, look at this, Joe. We just got a little reload right there on the short side there against VWAP. If it breaks VWAP, we gone right there, 171.65. So yeah, good move down, good reload. And again, we're getting out a little bit more now. Like the move has already happened one way. So let's see if it continues on. We already made our bed right here with NVIDIA. Was a very, very comfy one. So let's see if we can extend down back in now for NVIDIA. But look at the markets trying to go back up. We highlighted some of the stories. NVIDIA, obviously downside, but AMD, Micron, some of the other names. ARM looks like it's trying to move as well. Here today, back up to 153 for ARM. That's a nice level there. Look at that, starting to go now. So all these names are let it cook. So we'll have to wait to see where, there it is. Yeah, cook.
The NFL's passing leader let him cook too.
Yeah, who is that?
Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's cooking. Yeah, yeah.
No, he's not.
That was funny, man. That guy is crazy.
Fade, sell high in fantasy on him. But the market is absolutely cooking back into the upside. Like we held the low. We got AMD. I just saw the tape turn a little bit here, so I got about the 30 level, 28s, usually like 29. Give it to the high of the day. See if it can play back into 160 bucks. But if you're looking at the Nasdaq, goes right into the overnight low, bounce. Right, failed break of the high into the overnight low, so very much an inside morning here. And when we get to that top, I'm anticipating potential another reverse, just because sometimes on Fed day you get these inside mornings. I believe we're going back to Adara at the desk.
9CG Carlyle Group. This one
who number
pushing
2
to the
is?
upside. Semaphore reporting that Macquarie has had discussions here with Carlyle Group for takeover talks to create an alts giant. So keep an eye here on CG. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah Dara. Oh my goodness, open door.
Doing now.
It's 970 and still going higher is open door. All right, it's a little far away. If it dips down into VWAP, that's now like 5%. So not just going to sit there. We'll look for, I guess, yesterday here, right about 940 or somewhere in this range, as this stock is just absolutely flying. Maybe there'll be a 10 break on this. I know it's a popular one out there. We'll keep track of it. It was who else? Who was it? I'm trying to remember who else was short this one recently. Anyways, Skrelly yesterday, but he's not the only one calling for the short in open door. Well, it's getting blasted today. So look for that $10 level to have a little bit of size on it. AMD just bounced off 160.80 right in front of one of my orders. I don't want this 161 to start to get bid up again. I want this to break 160.80. Look for some exit liquidity down here. Otherwise, might just take some more out at the 161 if it's going to hold this well. Going against the grain, this is a mean reversion trade into VWAP, but if the buyers step right in at first support, then I got to take another leg out. Tom H mentioning Circle apparently going.
Ooh.
See, this is the thing about StubHub today. It's not a Circle crypto. You know, StubHub, where's the excitement level for StubHub and the hype factor?
It doesn't seem there right now.
It just isn't, it's just not the right sector in my opinion, but whatever. It doesn't mean I'm not taking it. It's just, you get excited for bullish and Circle and even Figma. Although Figma was great. I didn't feel that great about Figma either, and that ended up being pretty good, so.
Yeah. I mean, who knows what we feel like. We'll just have to wait. I mean, if the numbers line up and it starts to grow and gets bigger, then yeah, we'll be all over that. So yeah, looking forward to some more trading there today, especially on StubHub. All right, so we just got a nice little downtick there for NVIDIA. So hopefully that will continue to cook for us here and get lower. So here comes NVIDIA coming back in just a little bit. We're playing it off VWAP, so that's exactly what we did. We shorted, first of all, the pre-market breakdown there, which turned out to be great. And then we actually brought it out and said that 170, I think it was on my signal chart, could have been something, yeah, right into here. So right there, I mean, whatever, it's 170, it's easy day kind of play. So we were able to cover a lot down there near 170. So look at all these 5 or 6 outs right there. So you guys know the way I trade, and that makes a lot of sense for me to do that. So now we're gonna wait if it wants to. And even now on NVIDIA, I'm gonna put another bid here at 31s. It doesn't look like it wants to get too dangerously low here. So let's see what exactly it wants to do. But there's another bid. Did I just get that covered? No, we're at 31, so we didn't even get that. So it's holding higher right now. That's NVIDIA. Let's just have a quick look at LYFT and see what that's doing quickly here. Nice move there as Waymo and LYFT go to Nashville right there on some kind of a collab. So right there, shout out to Stefan Diggs. You are now the expected father of Cardi B's kid. So
is he really?
Yeah. Shout out to that. So
you know, there was a
getting rich in more ways than one right there, Stefan Diggs.
You can find this. I find this amusing. There was like a locker room interview when he was on the Vikings, and they asked everybody on the Vikings, who would you not want your sister to date?
Right.
And every single person on the Minnesota Vikings says Stefan Diggs.
Yeah, the guy's a gangster.
That's when you know. So congratulations to him.
Yes,
there'll probably be a Tyreek Hill. Oh, no, that's bad.
I don't know how many kids he has.
They'll probably have a boatload, but have fun with it.
She already has 2 or 3. She's legit. I don't know if he is or not, but we'll have to wait.
I liked him when he was on the Bills.
Stefan Diggs.
Now I don't care.
Okay.
By the way, just very quickly, you mentioned Uber. It's worth noting, Lyft is still trending down off that news. Like this stock went 20 to 26.5. It is now catching a bit at 22, but they're fading every single pop here on lift as it just continues to go. But it is catching a nice bid at the 22 level. Does it really matter that much? Let's just zoom out. The prior high was at 21. I think that's the spot. Go all the way back out to like April of 2024, and 21 would be the prior local high. AMD is starting to pull back. The market's back underneath VWAP, so AMD maybe trying to get to VWAP. What I don't like is this bottoming tail into the prior close. So it just held the prior close with a bottoming tail, so I'm going to tighten the stop up, no more high of the day. If it retraces the high, I'm out at the quarter. Otherwise, we get the VWAP trade here on AMD. And OpenDoor, well, I don't know what Martin Shkreli's stop is, but I'm assuming it's not going to be 6%. Because if it is, then he's out. He's going to get out when it breaks 10.
What a joker.
He knows the stuff when it comes to pharma. This is not a pharma stock. And it's breaking, I shouldn't say it's breaking $10, up at $9.90, up 11%. I haven't had a look at how much size will be at $10, but it's done 100 million shares this morning. I venture to say it's going to chew through whatever it wants to at that price. But if you're interested, there's already size at 92 and 94 and 96. So I expect 10's going to have a couple million shares up there.
I mean, what's a worse call? Shkreli on OpenDoor or Shkreli on Quantum?
Well, that's not close.
Quantum.
Because the Quantum ones he said are worth nothing.
Yeah.
Like the OpenDoor, short OpenDoor at 936 when it's at 990 versus saying QBTS is worth $1. I don't remember what it was at the time, but QBTS is
15 or 16 probably.
You see this today?
Yeah, I mean, they were all. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about IonQ, QBTS, Rigetti last night.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, great stock there.
Oh my
Huge
God.
move there.
That's huge.
NVIDIA.
Get it, QBTS.
Yeah, get it, QBTS. We like that one. There goes NVIDIA on the reload. So we're really printing on this name here. So it's been, for sure, a good run on NVIDIA today. I mean, up and down and short and around. I mean, this is all for me. I don't need anything else. We were long Alibaba. Like, that's crazy that we were long right there. We just not a little too early, I assume, looking at this there on Alibaba, but nice move right back into the highs. I did have a break long there on Alibaba at 166.50, but because we've traveled already $3 up there, I don't think it's a break that I'm going to wind up taking. But right there, even on the reload, here you go, Joe. You gave me credit for the reload yesterday. I'll give you credit for your reload yesterday on IBIT. And there it is right now, though. Here comes NVIDIA. Look at that reload there, Joe, right there on VWAP. Kablamo right there as it goes to the downside. My trading buddy over there, Joseph Miami, always doing the best. Thank you, Joe, for such a great shows on the midday. You and Sharif continue to kill it. There it goes, man. Now 70 cents in the money on this one. We're here, man. We're here every day, and thanks for the continued support. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're doing it again, and we're doing it live for you. So Neil's got short AMD, we've got short NVIDIA, and they're printing like wildfire right here, guys.
Yeah, but the market is actually maybe weaker than I think this chip name is. You just bounced off the low again. I got to respect it. I mean, AMD, we're going to go to Darren in a quick little second, but AMD just bounced off of yesterday's close a second time. This is the strong one of the chip names. So despite the fact that the short is working, I want to make sure I jump out of this one. OpenDoor did break 10, just for everyone out there keeping score. Continues to fly higher, over 100 million shares. Let's go to Adara. Oh, he's so cooked.
It's time for Happening Now. We're going to take a look at what's happened so far in the market. And honestly, a lot of what people are looking forward to in this market is going to be what's happening coming through on Wednesday. That will be or later today, that'll be the FOMC decision. Let's find out if we get that 25 basis point cut that the market has widely been pricing in. Here is NVDA near the low of day. Definitely one of the weaker names. They did actually have a report here from the Financial Times that now these NVIDIA chips that were made for China are actually banned from use from their companies like Alibaba and ByteDance. CEO Jensen Huang has opined on this ban, and so has Speaker Johnson of the U.S. House. Now we have WDAY on watch. Workday, one of the stronger names in an otherwise weak market. Elliott Management, which is an activist investor, announcing this $2 billion investment into Workday. Then we have META, Meta on watch with this MetaConnect event. Usually we'll get that keynote during the day, but tonight we actually get it after the bell around 8 p.m. Eastern. They are expected to announce a lot of glasses-related updates. Before we send you back to the guys, let's take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S. but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Oragenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
Oh man, now we're $1 the other way right now? Wow, what a hot dog kind of a day right here for NVIDIA. We're $1 on our reload right here down to the downside. So yeah, I had no idea that it was gonna get this spicy, but what a spicy meatball it is here today. So there it goes, man. Everything is what I need here for NVIDIA, and we got it all. So, you know, there, boom. Nice downside play there for NVDA. So yeah, man, we're letting it cook today. That is for sure, as we rate the Fed decision coming at 2 p.m. And we already looked at this earlier. I didn't even refresh it. I mean, we can refresh it here if we want to, just to see. Still 94%. I don't expect, obviously, any lick of a change in this. So we have 94% chance.
No, that should stay.
Yeah, 94 to 6, right? So there's still a little bit of a glimmer of hope for those of you looking for 50 basis points.
Yeah, 100% chance of a cut.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the small chance of that 50
cut already
basis point
today.
cut. Canada has no choice. If you're, our unemployment here is like double yours in the States. You know, we're over 7% unemployment here in Canada. So you better believe they're cutting rates up in Canada on the regular. So I jumped out, just held the low again, not the low, but the lower high here on AMD. So the mean reversion, that's prior day's highs. That'll work as well. I got my eyeballs on BBAI now. So AMD took the short off of our level. If we get a second crack at it or can maybe rejoin a trend, we'll take that shot. But BBAI is starting to, oops, that's not VWAP. VWAP is down around 570. One of those charts is a little bit wrong. So down around 579 or so here in BBAI. I don't want this to break $6 without getting something on a bit of a dip buy. Give it to like just underneath 75, but play the upward trend. I don't think this will do what OpenDoor did. But BBAI, 6 is a pretty significant level on the daily. You've seen the nice little curl. There's no specific news on BBAI. There was some news last week. It's just a pure continuation play. And then for everyone looking at OpenDoor, still up 11%. The quant names are going, but it just did a kind of a topping tail candle here at $10. So broke $10, got to 10.06, and right back underneath to 9.90. So that could be a little temp top here when you get a pullback off the $10 level. Still want to get that VWAP if we can. That'll be around, now looking at like 940 to 950 on the next available dip. Filippo in the chat. You're absolutely right, Filippo. When the market's down, CAD all-time high. A lot of people saying in the chat that Walmart was having a good day. Well, that makes sense to me. Tech's going to sell. Where does that money usually rotate to? Somewhere considered to be a little bit different is the word. I shouldn't say safer, because, you know, CAT's got some volatility on its own.
Yeah. Every stock has some kind of a risk there. Caterpillar, especially with China risk. So StubHub, you're able to put orders out at least now in our system. So you can put that out. So I want to tell that to Neil. So you can get your order out in case it magically opens right now, which it will
probably not, but
do.
You never know.
So there's StubHub. We're looking for this IPO today, and obviously it's going to be a good one to trade. I don't know if it's going to be a good one to go long on, as it hasn't moved. We haven't gotten too much excitement about it, but right here, StubHub prices IPO at $23.50. Valuing the company at $8.6 billion, you know, which is a lot for them, I would think. But anyways, we're going to wait to see what winds up happening with StubHub there later today. But this is the buy book here. So it's a buy and balance of 600,000 shares. The paired value has been like 3 to 4 million for Klarna, for Figure, for excuse me, for Gemini, and all of those names. So right now we're not getting as much interest in StubHub. So I don't know. I think StubHub is a great way to play this whole millennial thing, because like every single concert is selling out. All these tickets are becoming extremely hard to get. Like Oasis was one of the best things I've seen, and all it does is make you want to go to more concerts and do more things, more sporting events, more everything. And StubHub is a place to go get those tickets. I mean, there's Game Time, there's Vivid Seats, there's SeatGeek, there's Ticketmaster themselves, there's Live Nation, which is that LVN? I don't know what
all of this, they lost more money than than last year. Like,
I mean, remember that guy bought it in 2003 or whatever for 300 million and then sold it for $4 billion.
No. So the founder sold it to eBay for 300 and then bought it back at 4. So eBay's the one that won.
Yeah. And now they're going to win again because it's going to go out at $9 billion.
The question would be like, what did he do with the 310 over all of those years? It's not like you're losing when you get 310 that you can invest.
No,
I don't want to say that you lost on that regard. But I'm just a little skeptical of it because you're still not making money. It's not in a super hyper growth place. I think this could be one of those boringly solid IPOs in the next, over the next quarter. Like, I don't think it might be as parabolic as a lot of what we've seen. Like, this is 100% not going to be a circle. Like, I can't see any way that I feel pretty confident saying you're not getting a circle type event. By the way, circle is up 5 points today and looking very strong. So I said open door and hopefully BBAI, although BBAI is not really flying around, could be some good long opportunities. There's not much out there if you like the long so far, but Circle trying to pull back into a prior high on its own. So there's another one that's looking pretty strong. Just checking back in on open door for myself, still fading off the 10 level. I'm looking back into this 940 to 950. Kind of felt it was going to reject that Shkreli area and get another dip back into 9. It blew through that like a hot knife through butter. So there's plenty of strength out there. You just got to be able to look to find it. And market overall not giving it to you.
No, the market's pretty weak. We haven't checked out on Tesla, though. Whenever Randy comes here, we check out on Rivian. But this is why. Look at me, Tesla not doing anything, kind of taking a little sleepy time here on TSLA. So we can wait to see if that's holding out. I just saw someone, what's up there, silly mama, puts in there Marvell as well. So we've talked, let it cook. Yes, Marvell, let's go. Right there, man. All right, Marvell, nice move, man. We're happy about that one. Thank you there. Whatever that name was a fun one there. As it is now cooking to the upside right here. There goes Marvell. We had this play yesterday, as we were saying, at those lows and was hoping to get something like that today, but no, we were long yesterday, 67.40s there on Marvell, and there it goes. We're unable to hold overnight as we trade on a prop floor. So, we got to be flat on that. Not that I would hold any of these plays that I'm making overnight, but that Marvell, really nice to see that working because we were down on it. We're probably close to being flat now. We bought whatever it was pre-earnings. I'll have to go check that price, 75, 76, something like that. And then we're able to get some at 63 or something like that on day 2 or day 3 of their pullback up. So far so good on Marvell as Silicon there. There needs to be some picks and shovels in all of this, so we like it. Long Marvell, obviously, and I'm still long NVIDIA, a lot of shares in my own account, but there goes NVIDIA right now back into some levels. I'm going to put a bid right now just to cover out of 10% of what we have left there at 69er. Oh, it just bounced off of us there. Okay, there we go. We got it. And the reason why I'm always bidding underneath some of these levels is so that when it hits me, I get the rebate. So I get the rebate to trade there. I don't have to market it in or out and pay those fees. So we get rebates for sitting there on the level too. So when it's like this, 73, I'll just put like a 71 quickly. So hopefully when it comes back in, and especially on a stock like NVIDIA where you get picked up all over the place, it's worth doing that. And if you just do that, see like there, you would have got your 71s there, right? And sometimes it doesn't work and I'll be sitting here all mad at myself. Why did I do that? But I know why I do it. And it's just to make sure that I capture the rebate and all that. Good job, Ben Talks Money on your Marvell calls there. What a fantastic stock. And I wish that I had participated more in the calling side of things rather than just buying shares. But there's a nice little pullback in for NVIDIA. Hey man, we're still at that club. So it's a nice one there today. And it's going to be a good one here. It's StubHub Day, it's Fed Day, and it's right here, big time NVIDIA Day. And
it's also Quantum. It's Quantum Day as well because IonQ made a major. I'm going to find out the name of that company again. I go for IonQ. It's IonQ news, but it's not the biggest one in the group moving. So it was, they announced a definitive agreement to acquire Vector Atomic. So this is a $200 million deal, but it's QBTS that is making the biggest move in the group. It just made a 52-week high. It's made an all-time high, breaking out, and a little bit of a pullback off of that all-time high. So yes, IonQ is going $20. Specifically on that news, and that's up when it loads here, that's up only a couple of, only 1% now. But look at the run that it had already been on. Rigetti is up on sympathy as well. So Rigetti challenging its top. It doesn't quite break out yet for Rigetti, but that's only about $1 away on RGTI. Not related whatsoever. BBAI. No. Again, BBAI had some news last week. Not a big deal, but just looking for the similar continuation to yesterday through $6. So bounced off of VWAP and looking for the push into 6. I'll be covering pretty much all of it in front of $6 and then taking a $6 break. So that'll be the plan of action there. And Open Door, which is still top of the list. I feel like any day Open Door is doing volume, it's like it needs a handicap on the stock visualizer somehow. Like you need to give this stock a handicap because it's always going to be at the top. People just keep putting the symbol in. And then AMD, Robinhood, we haven't looked at. Circle, we did. QBTS, we did. LYFT, we did. GV, I think maybe we did. You just talked about Marvell. Yeah. So it's really Robinhood is the only thing that we have not paid attention to so far this morning. And yeah, it's not doing a lot. But you know what? When the market's at the low, when the Nasdaq is at the low, and I'd say trend down, right? Like heavy open candle to the downside, rejection candle here on a 15-minute, and then still looking a little bit red. Robinhood, not bad. Broke out the top a little bit, and now holding a bit of a higher low in front of VWAP. Remember, with Robinhood, this has been rejecting $120 like several times, a couple topping tail wicks. So there's no closes above 120 on the daily. I think that'll be the next leg. Finally going into the index in 5 days. I think it's the 22nd, right? So as of effective Monday morning, I believe, it should be in the S&P.
Yeah, good one there. I need everybody here. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of people in the chat right now going off. So thank you so much. Thank you, Stevenson. Thanks you to everybody there for congratulating on this NVIDIA trade. I hope you guys have them as well. A couple good trades put on by us here today. So thank you for doing that. But you're not thanking enough on this area. We got only 963 likes right now. We have over 10,000 watching. So guys, if you're here watching, 1 out of every 10 of you, go down and hit the like button, man. You can see what's happening here. Grr. Oh, thank you, Vic, for the happy birthday wishes there as well. Thank you, Pitchbull, as well there. Shout out to everybody that's in there. What's up to Mike P. DeRider? What's up to everybody that's here right now? And let's just do something that we've talked about for a minute here on the show and just say hi to everybody. What's up, Mike Williams? Right there, former San Diego Charger wide receiver. What's up, Roger Noon? Mike P. DeRider, Hurt Scrambler there, Jaguar. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to whoever else's birthday it is. Lena out there as well. John, Mike, Felipe, Andrew, Dane Generous, Travman is here. Rusty is here. Look at these likes going up, baby. 1.3K right now. What's up, Ari? What's up to Video News? Kathy, Yovan is here. Roadrunner's here. Shark Water. If the water has sharks in it, see ya. Right there, what's up, Ricky, James, Lily Pads. We had to check out some Eli Lilly as well. Mike P, the rider is here and everybody. So thank you to everybody for coming through one more time and enjoying the programming. And there it is, man. Thank you so much. Almost 50% more likes. Now, 50%. All we got to do is ask, man. That's the kind of group and the kind of viewers that we do have here right now. And I did see someone in the chat said, gargle salt with water, and it should be good for the old throat there. So I've done that before. That's just an old, like household remedy there. Yeah. Maybe I'll go do that because I give out my Cepacols and all that every time those little hauls.
Dara always has.
Rob normally has. Yeah, Dara has a little. Dara's like a rolling pharmacy. So yeah, Dara probably has some of that. And I'm gonna go figure that all out so we can stay tuned up and ready to give you guys hopefully more action over here.
Sorry, Martin.
But I'm gonna
1020. 1020 is where it is. So that continues to blow out. Open Door is now up 15%, everybody. But guess what? In 14 years, there's been 0 hacks and 0 excuses because BTCC.com delivers when others don't. Trade Bitcoin up to 500x, even Tesla, gold, and Forex. With smart copy trading, you don't just watch the pros, you trade like them. Regulated in the US, Canada, and Europe, trusted by 6.8 million traders. And there's a Trader TV Live exclusive. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description box for a 15% deposit bonus. BTCC.com, where pros trade, and now so can you. So I want to give a big shout out to them and appreciate them as well. So I just heard Eli Lilly again. $8 billion contract for Eli Lilly. I did not hear whom that was with, but Eli Lilly at the high of the day. It's actually It was Novo that was more interesting. These flies, that was more interesting. And that caught a nice little bit off the bottom. I think this stock is, Novo's kind of bottoming out here and starting to go. And they got some good news with their GLP. Okay, so it doesn't, you don't lose as much weight with it, but if less people are leaving the trials for the side effects, then that also bodes well for them too. There can be, possibly multiple winners, I think. It does bode well for them. Unfortunately, if you short this name, you can't be a winner on OpenDoor. Just blew through 1030. So this is now allergic to the volume weighted average price and continuing to just fly higher. I do see this GV that has halted, Visionary Education Technology. It's done a lot of shares, but this is halted up 1, 2 times, halted down now a second time. So this is lots of volume and potential liquidity, but not enough to keep it open for very long. So it's kind of going from halt to halt. So be careful with a stock like this. That's why we prefer things like OpenDoor. Like Open's a crazy stock, but OpenDoor is not gonna, it's just so liquid that it's not likely to halt. Like it resists, even these big moves here, like it's not going 10% in a single candle. So that's why, one of the reasons why I like it for sure. The thing that's funny about this was my pick that if somehow we got a 50 basis point cut, I was going to punch a breakout long, but that's gone now. We're not going to get a 50 basis point cut, but if it's already too high, then what's the point? Right, so we got BBAI came into VWAP and playing the same game of the long into, it's one of those, if it holds it all day long into $6 like it did yesterday, then that's what I want to do. Long into 6, breakout to 6 is going to be the other side of the play. AMD, as the market comes back in, the chip names have been going in opposite directions. A little bit of strength in Marvell, a little bit of strength in AMD, and weakness in NVIDIA because the news was specific to them. But AMD goes into VWAP and holds. So it's trying to hold green. I only want to be short this name underneath yesterday's resistance. So either we get back up there and fade it again, or we start playing trend on some lower highs. Mirkiss, I'm going to get this one out of the way because Meraki 100. You should get into open now for a $16 swing is good. No, I'm not trying to hold this stock. Like, is a day trade? I have no issues with this stock as a day trade. I think it's probably been traded on the show like almost every single day for the last little while. But that's very different from buying and holding this on a swing basis. Like if I'm buying it on a swing basis, like you're out, like I guess you're out is like 10.50. You're risking 20%. I suppose that's reasonable. It's just not my cup of tea for swings up here. Like if I was intelligent enough to have gotten it down at like 250, like that's a swing play I can get. Like I can wrap my head around like pull back, this little trend break in here. Like that's more my bag if I'm taking a swing trade. Not stock has gone from $1 to $10 in a couple of months. Let's see if we can't buy some up top here because a couple of dudes are getting squeezed at this level. That's really not my cup of tea. Day trade, fine, but I'm not swinging this thing. Adara?
Time to talk about small caps. First, I do want to mention, very much not a small cap, but here's the story with Eli Lilly. Awarded $8 billion Department of Veteran Affairs contract for pharmaceutical preparation manufacturing. That was what that contract was for. Yesterday, the company announced a whole slew of investments that they're planning for some facilities, starting with a $5 billion investment for Virginia. Let's talk about the IWM, transitioning over to small caps here. Nice pop off the open. Now, this is what you're going to want to watch amongst, of course, the rest of the market at 2 p.m. because we know that the IWM and the small caps are very rate sensitive. If we get any type of surprise in not only just the interest rate itself, but the forecast, because we will be getting dot plot today, that's something that you're going to be wanting to watching out for. Then we have CDT. CDT equity currently at day's high. This is formerly a penny stock, right now trading around $1.10, and it has a crypto-related catalyst, like a lot of small caps have had as of late. This one announcing they're acquiring roughly 8.65 Bitcoin for $1 million, average price of just over $115,000 per coin. Then we have NFE on watch yesterday afternoon. New Fortress Energy had a story here reported by Bloomberg suggesting that they're getting a boost on this Revive Puerto Rico LNG deal. Then we've got Visionary Holdings, GV, this one on watch, very volatile. As you can see, they announced a breakthrough strategic alliance this morning to apparently unlock the $1 trillion cellular rejuvenation market. Before we send you back to the guys, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool. Did you know that instead of risking your own money, you can now trade with someone else's capital? No more fear of losing. No more moving your stop loss too soon. and you can actually get enough capital to make it worth your time. So you can aim for big profits, not just a couple $100 a month. This is the revolution called limited risk trading. And it's powered by Trade the Pool. This is how it works. Join Trade the Pool, hit the profit goal, and keep 70% of your target, or the profits. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now for 10% off.
Thank you,
yeah, make sure you scan all those QR codes. I got to set my earpiece.
Oh, the earpiece back up there. Look, the market continues to look a little bit nasty, and then we have a big IPO. Well, we have an IPO coming out. It's
24.50.
Some people might think it's not that big of a deal, but StubHub, yeah, it just moved to 24.50. It's still not gigantic. Where's my bounce? There it is. The problem is it's not that big, so I'll have to sort by market time or paired volume. Yeah, if you sort by market time, then it'll always be at the top. But look at that. 790,000 is the open interest. Not even over 1 million shares yet, but it has bumped up to 24.5. So at least the price is increasing. That's one positive sign that might get us to take it off the open. But StubHub IPO, good. I can tell you with absolute certainty that Gemini is not good. This just made another fresh low. It just continues to flush down. So the recent IPOs have not been that great in terms of follow through. Like you can get that opening print, they're okay. StubHub, we said, still losing money ultimately. And I don't think it opens till after lunchtime. At least that's my 2 cents for StubHub. I'm just going to check back in on the only names that we've been trading today. Alibaba has a chance to break it out. Now starting to think maybe we look at VWAP for BABA. I wasn't really on the breakout trade, but it is looking like a potential breakout, up 2.5 points. It was good China, bad NVIDIA, and it wasn't just Alibaba. Like you could have a look at, say, like JD, I suppose. Baidu, big time move in Baidu. JD's up 1.5 points, but it was Baidu last night that had made the biggest move. It's giving back some, but monster gap up on Baidu, 7.5% for them. So, the Chinese tech names, super strong today, into some weakness in specific US chips, I should say. And 10.50 now on Open Door.
Oh, man. Oh.
The all-time high is, well, I guess wouldn't be an all-time, would it? Let's go Open.
One? Meta?
No, Open.
No.
No, it's not all-time. It's a 52-week high is $11, and the all-time high is like ridiculous. But this is also when this came to market. Remember that $10 level obviously being pretty big. So it's chewing through some pretty important levels. I hate breakouts this high, but you only had one chance at a dip, and it wasn't even that big of a dip. It was that $10 fail, and Open Door is certainly squeezing some people here today. So yeah, good luck if you got this one to the upside, but the squeeze is in full effect. And that's all this is. To me, it's just a squeeze play.
Randy's here. We just covered some more NVIDIA right here at 170.20. I mean, the reload was right here at 171.60. So a great little reload there. I just did some salt with water, so that should be good. And here's StubHub right here. I just wait now for StubHub. So we have 25 more minutes left, or 35 more minutes left, and it shows it's 10:25. StubHub right here, the price now 24.50. So if you're able to find some allocation, as I know that some people in our chat have been able to find some allocation, you're now $1 in the money. You'll get those shares at 23.50, and right now 24.50 right here off the open for StubHub. So we'll wait to see where that one winds up opening up with some interest now. Well, it's getting lower and lower here, 53,000. So I don't think we're anywhere close to opening up yet, Neil. But if we are, then I better put in a stop order just in case it does open up at this price, which I don't think it will. But right here, StubHub, looking like it's getting close, man. I don't know what to tell you, but oopsies. I lost it. I'm trying to sort it by market time right here, market time. There it is. So StubHub at the top right here, trying to find its way, but only 58,000 right now left on the bid.
Nothing.
It's only 800,000 right now, so it's not like a huge interest now for StubHub. But we'll wait to see. It could open up at any moment. I don't think, Andre, can you test my earpiece? I don't think it's working anymore for some reason. Nope, if you're testing it, it is not. All right, so NVIDIA right here, nice downside push, man. We just covered some more down here. Let's wait to see if it does break that 170. And are we going to get more if it breaks 170? That's a good question, Sean. And the answer is no, I'm not. I've already, we've actually made 2 times our daily goal on this trade, but we did lose some on Alibaba, so we lost. So we're up 2 times our goal here, and we lost half a goal on Alibaba. So we're up 1.5 times our daily rate here, which is pretty good with position pending. And it has nothing to do with, well, it actually does have a little bit to do with my net. It's just right into here. I don't really want to smash this 170. Like, there's just so much blah right here that I don't know, it's just not looking like the cleanest level for me to say let's go. Like, breaking right here was a let's go, right? There's nothing underneath there. You get a little bit of consolidation there, and then you have a huge room to the downside, right? Breaking today where we went short early, that was a let's go spot as well, right? I mean, there's the break right here. Let's go right back into the downside. So if you break 170, that 169.60 is just right there. So I think if you're going to play for kind of a, I know Rivian Millionaire, but whatever. The goal is what a goal is. I mean, you know, I can adjust it, and I am adjusting it mentally, trust me. But right here, I'm just doing it for the show because we get Stevenson Etienne, and we get a lot of you guys that are saying, thank you, Sean, for showing that this kind of stuff can happen. And I'm just trying to tell you guys that if you are share sized properly, it's 1 or 2 trades, and that's that. Find your best trades and go for it. That's what I'm trying to show you every day here, and it's been working. And some days when I'm down, I'll tell you guys, like, I'm down big on this trade or whatever. It's just, for right now, we're hot and it's running, so we're going to wait. But there goes NVIDIA right now to the downside. Everything's trying to go now, Neil, because the market's tanking. I don't want to say tanking, but it's been a pretty aggressive move lower here. And there's Tesla at 412. So this was a name that was hovering around that 420, 430 marker. Now going lower again. And here comes NVIDIA. It's going to break 170 right in front of us. So, yeah, I'm short this one. You're long, obviously, a
small cap
meme name, so we're not worried about the market.
Is it a meme name?
BBAI? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it gets a lot of, there it goes. Wow, NVIDIA, man. We are just banking out on this one as there it goes now, $1.70 in the money now on NVIDIA. And not just that, it's a reloaded position. So this is multiples right here. So we're really happy with those plays. But yeah, I think Big Bear AI, the fact that it gets so much social media attention, like it's on Twitter, it's on all those things, I think it is.
Seem like a meme stock to me.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, it does not moving like one. But
that's what. Yeah, like to me, this doesn't. I guess it did in February, but this is like, look at the chart. It respects the 50. It respects the 200-period moving average. I mean, looks pretty good technically. It is multiple days up. Yeah, it's got one nasty reversal. Fine. Like, I'll grant you that doesn't look too good, but you know, recently it's starting to look like a pretty normal stock. But like again, you know, we're taking this one into the $6 level. If you're looking for longs, you have to be finding them somewhere else, because I've had 3 longs, 1 short into a down market, and all longs have worked. But that's because OpenAI is doing its own thing, and BBAI is doing its own thing, and Alibaba is doing its own thing. And AMD, I'm glad I got away from this one. It may have gotten all the way to VWAP, but it held. The market is breaking lower, and this is not going with it. So it's actually holding a higher low. So I think it was maybe the wrong place to get out, but certainly the right idea. And if it loses 160, I can try to jump back into it again. Like, don't want to ruin it. At this point, haven't had a loss, so it has to be the right spot to look in next. And remember, the news specifically was NVIDIA. Like, the Chinese government came out and said, we don't want you using NVIDIA chips at the end of the day. So there is a reason why maybe they're bleeding a little bit more than the rest. And look, I'll keep showing you guys Open Door. It just pulled back off 1050, coming right back in, hopefully to the volume weighted average price. That'll be around 980. But this is now broken trend. For the first time, I think Open Door is breaking the trend line and heading back into VWAP. That's the only place I'll look for a bounce that isn't that Shkreli area, like that 935 to 940. I think that's psychological. You can say whatever you want. Open Door is a meme stock. And if somebody says, I shorted it at this price, and that's a psychological level to me, it didn't really hold up on the way through, but it's certainly held on the last dip. So there's there, and there's around here on VWAP. As even Open Door is starting to fall off a little bit here, everybody. Trump Corp saying Open Door to $5. That's why it's a meme stock. Yeah. Because Open Door could be $5 next week. I would venture to say, like BBAI, like which one of these could get cut in half if you come in on Monday? I mean, it's not impossible for BBAI, but I just think it's incredibly unlikely that it would in a couple of sessions. Whereas Open Door going to $5 in 2 days would surprise nobody. And Open Door going to $15 in 2 days would also surprise nobody. At least I would hope that it wouldn't. Because if it does, then maybe that's not the stock that you should be investing in and swing if you don't think it can do that.
Yeah, surprise. Okay. Maybe this is the right one to do? No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm
well,
gonna
you
have
know what?
a
Just look at
with
mine.
Oh, there we go. No. I got it. It's okay, you gotta meet the site. Okay, there we go. We are now muted. Oh no, we're not muted. I have the wrong setting. There.
It's all good. All
Hear
good.
myself now? No, I cannot. Okay, good. All right, I think we're fine now. All right, so there's, yep, got it now, Andre. Boom, we're back. All right, so we are back. That's a fact, Jack. We're back right there. So yeah, so far so good here on the day as we continue to watch out. We got a good cover there of NVIDIA at 170, right? So we're almost out of all of this trade, and it's been obviously a decent trade there for NVDA here today. So let's look at something else. We talked about JP Morgan, possibly the first $1 trillion bank, and joining that $1 trillion club is JP Morgan, and it's going to get close, man. Today's day was 850 was the market cap before today's move. Add another 1% to that, so we're getting up there right now for JP Morgan. As JP Morgan right now 312 and change right here, and starting to pull back a little bit, but good level there for JPM. Let's just have a quick look. We could talk some crypto at some point as well, maybe right into here, but this is what's been happening so far here today. Look at the flows coming into the banking sector. I mean, again, all greens. Like, they're not IBKR, Coinbase. Again, Coinbase we know is not a finance company per se. Right there, ebbs and flows with crypto, but there you go. Citigroup, new highs as well, up over $100, up that 1% there. JP Morgan holding forward. There goes Berkshire, your other $1 trillion company right there, upside there as well. American Express, 2.4%. Gotta love those credit cards, man. I mean, they've been pretty hot fire with a strong retail side, although retail was weak yesterday. So we got to watch out for Amazon down 1.6% today, Tesla down 1.8%. Here's the retail side of things. We had weaker than expected retail trade numbers. I think it was yesterday or the day before, but Walmart up, Costco up, Amazon down. Amazon's not going to be the pure play retail that you're looking for, right? Like a TJ Maxx, which is right there.
Walmart's the one.
Yeah, all of these pretty much besides Amazon, right? I mean, I don't know, Ross Stores is right there as well, Tapestry.
It's an unfair group to put Walmart in.
Yeah, I mean, they're, or to put Amazon in. Yeah.
Sorry, Amazon in.
Yeah, Amazon should probably be more in technology services. Maybe it is in here as well. This is just trading view. These are not like official.
No, they are. But that is where it gets put. I don't think it's a very clean.
Yeah.
Sector to put it in.
Look at Oracle right here now, down 2.44%. I mean, if you're, and Palantir, what's up, my guy? What's up, Alex? That looks like ON's symbol. Palantir down 3% as well today, so that ain't good, as the market is not rewarding some of these plays here. The high movers today, Synopsys downside as well, Google and Meta, the high flyers. There's nothing safe right here in tech land there today. Yeah, Adobe. Where do you see Adobe?
3% for Adobe. Up, yeah. It's
Oh, right there. Yeah, right here. Yeah, up 3% for Adobe. Yeah, that's
pointing at that one.
And then we also know, because then I could see it. That was a good move. And then here, some of the weaker names. You guys know we're short NVIDIA. We're a buck and change in on that one. You know, this is an interesting spot for me here on Broadcom because it's a name that I don't own any. So if the market keeps pulling back in, I wonder if it's just a little bit of away from NVIDIA, head over to Broadcom and see that's a $1.4 trillion name as well. Texas Instruments, Intel moving around there as well. And then we had Eli Lilly with a bump today. So here we go. Some of the health technology stocks on a rise up. Pfizer, nice upside play there today. Abbott Labs, J&J, AbbVie. So not many red names over here in healthcare technology. So that's just a little bit of a look on some of the broader spaces, and then I'll throw it back to Neil in a second. I just want to look at crypto quickly, and then we'll be done. So just a quick look at Bitcoin and the rest. Is that right? 115 and change? Let me just refresh that. Yeah, so right there. So not a good day there, honestly, for Bitcoin. 115.7. It's still fine. I wouldn't worry about it, but still, we'd like to see a little bit higher there. But heading into Fed, I think it rallies off Fed. So I think that would be, maybe IBIT is what you punch long in, honestly. Ripple still above that. XRP still above. What's up to the Army? Still above $3. That's nice. Solana keeps on working. Brian Shannon calling 300 for Solana. He said that's a possibility. I mean, everything's a possibility, but in the breakout that he was seeing back to all-time highs, which is 300 and change for Solana.
Michael said this. Michael liked that same one. Let's just say his target was a little bit more ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was when you extrapolate.
Yeah.
It was more of like the statistical extrapolation. It's just the breakout's the breakout. This is my trouble with like when you don't have price history above certain prices. Like,
yeah,
if you don't have a level, unless you're really into Fibonacci's or something, measured moves and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
I just think when you get the break, you just hold it. But all the Chinese names were strong this morning. But I just noticed one that is not looking very good. It's up 2%, but Pinduoduo That looks like a pretty big topping tail. And if you look at it on the daily, this is also rejecting a big level here at about 133. Like how many topping resistance, topping tail, setting up another topping tail in here today. So VWAP, if this pulls anywhere near into VWAP, maybe even just a consolidation down here. I think a continuation short. Alibaba, I'd like Alibaba long, but the level here on PDD, that is a sort of textbook fail to high. And then after that, there's only one place to go. So I want to look for a pop into VWAP, at least from here until lunchtime. BBAI will just play with the volume weighted average price as it continues to try to bounce off of that. Ozan, I am sure Neil Roberts secretly is in love with Fibonacci's, but he can't confess. It's absolutely not true. I will admit to this. I've tried to use Fibonacci's in trading. Like when I started trading penny stocks like over 20 years ago, I used Fibonacci's. It just didn't do anything for me. It didn't help me in my trading. I'm not saying it didn't work or can't work. It just didn't work for me. So, at the end of the day, you do what works for you. It was never an indicator that never had any value, at least for my trading. So I didn't really use it. I remember someone asked yesterday if we'd ever use Bollinger Bands. I said, yeah, very briefly, and not in the U.S. markets. We used Bollingers in Europe over 10 years ago, and that was a good strategy. And that was the only time I used Bollinger Bands. So if it works, you use it. If it doesn't, you don't. But there's a million ways to skin a cat. There's a tons of different trading styles you can have. You can trade small caps, large caps. You can ignore indicators. There's pretty much something out there for everybody. The more important thing is that you're open to new things and new ideas in trading, investing, whatever it might be, and then just trying to learn from that. But if an indicator works for somebody else and doesn't work for you, then you just don't use it. I think that's pretty simple.
Yeah, and to that point, I was saying over to Joe and Sharif yesterday, we made the whole day was on small cap names. We traded Turbo. We were long at $5. It went to 20 yesterday. And then we traded OPNDR, which was a big trade yesterday as well. So we go from trading market caps and floats of less than 1 million shares yesterday and yesterday, the amount of money that we made on Turbo yesterday, like we didn't make this much on NVIDIA today. We made more on Turbo yesterday, and that is the smallest of small cap names. And then today, my biggest net is on the biggest of big cap names, the largest name in the world, NVIDIA. So yesterday, we show our worth by trading this small cap name, a micro cap name, and then we come right back today and hit it on NVIDIA. So yeah, I mean, again, like whatever, as per Neil's point, it's like just look for where the action is. I think that's the most important thing for me, and try to find it. And that's why we only have BABA and Thing today and NVIDIA. Robinhood right now, this is an interesting name. I mean, it's hovering around its highs. And it's just looking like it wants, in my opinion, it looks like it wants to come back down a little bit with some of these high wicks. But that high wick is at 123. Like, we still got a lot of room to go before we get back up here and test some of these levels. So to me, it's kind of like you're going through, there's like a little bit of a base there and a pop. Here's a base here and a pop. But that pop didn't last that long. We came back and retested. Now we're popping again here on the S&P inclusion and all that kind of stuff. So now we're going to have to wait to see if 120 holds or not on Robinhood, and it looks like it is going to be a good long up into here. I just think it wants to come back and have a look at the 50-period moving average. So yeah, 119.50 there, a good short. We're only at 117. We're stuck in the middle right now, and this is what what hoods look like today. There's that 119 level that coincides with those top levels. So I feel like that's a great short if we can get back to 119. So on a good Fed number, which as expected will be that half point, if Robinhood can touch in and around 120 again, I think that's a decent area to maybe look to get back into the name or get into the name for a short trade. But that's it for me here. Let's go back over to Adair and see what she's up to.
Sector watch time. I know Sean went over some of these, but we're going to take a look here in comparison, I think, to the market. So Nasdaq here down about 1/3%, S&P 500 slightly red as well. But as you can see, there's a lot of strength in some of these non-tech sectors. So this really shows the extent to which these tech names are ruling the roost. NVIDIA, Broadcom, Palantir, Oracle, all down at least 2%. These are all pretty large components, right? So this really demonstrates the extent to which these Mag 7 names even being a little bit weak can really send the market to the downside. And there is also some strength in tech. Netflix got an upgrade today. This one up 1.5%. Apple, relatively strong. We've got Dell actually 3% to the upside. ACN and Adobe both up also about 3%. So not all of tech is weak, but the names that are some of the larger market cap names in the market. Finance really strong here across the board. Retail trade generally looking pretty good with the exception of Amazon. Health technology, consumer non-durables, producer manufacturing, consumer services, utilities, process industries, communications, commercial services, etc. All green. And consumer durables, much like retail trade, is the one Mag 7 bringing down its otherwise strong sector, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about. Like you have to find the kernels of strength, like that Adobe. And one of the things you might consider why Adobe could be strong is, well, a beaten up name that's been out of favor. There's a saying that, I think it was actually Luca that would say this, if it doesn't break the low, there's only one place it can go. Now that's sort of obviously true, but I really like that saying. When you find a stock that makes like a double bottom or some kind of like a hard bottom like this on Adobe, and then you have a bad reaction on earnings, it kind of rug pulled everybody on earnings. Like it went up initially and then just completely rugged it after the fact and made another low the prior day. But it doesn't break the local bottom. It doesn't break the double bottom. Okay, well, if you're going to respond to effectively bad news by holding the low and holding a higher low, that's a good signal for a turn. This is above the 50 period again and has a chance to go. So Adobe, maybe it's not in the you-know-what list, the ish list for the short run. And I'm hoping for the same thing with CRM when I call it up here. CRM has a very similar, Salesforce has a very similar pattern, where after earnings, fail to 50, go back to the low, but don't break the low. It's going to test this higher low here at 235, it seems. But these are the kind of stocks where maybe they show you the support, and then you can actually break it out a little bit later.
Oh, boy, oh, boy. Yeah, lots of different stocks. And the thing about it is like heading into Fed's going to be 2 p.m., so we don't have too much else going on right now other than this market, which continues to tick lower right now. Good fills for us on NVIDIA, obviously, as we start to take out some of these low levels. We just got a 169.85 level there, 86 or something. So nice move to the downside there off of 171.50. Thank you so much, Cesar, and everybody there. That someone just said in the chat, I just subscribed. So there it is. What's up, Cesar? Thank you so much for subscribing. And thank you to everybody for hitting that like button and for subscribing with us here today. Again, 1.6K, over 9,200 of you watching. We've reloaded this position as well on NVIDIA. Thank you to everybody for being here with us. Make sure you do hit that like and subscribe again. Watch IXIC. Okay. What's up, Eduardo there? We can watch out for some IXIC. Is NVIDIA about to give it up? Yeah. I mean, we're short NVIDIA right now, and we still have a position on. So here we go back into the downside. So a nice little play there for NVDA. Good amount of shares on as well. So we're happy with the performance that we've been putting on here today. So there it goes. And then, you know, a name that I was thinking about picking up something if it does get a little bit nastier. I don't know what Boeing's doing today. Flat but down since the open, so that's a good opportunity. Look at Boeing, really nice pullback in here. If you want a monopolistic business, look at Boeing down into 215 or so area right now, so that's going to be definitely an area to look at there for BA. The 200 period, you can wait for the ultimate places to buy and sell stock, or you can sort of just believe in it and maybe drip into it as it falls back in, and then ultimately use the 200 period for some kind of support. But yeah, right now Boeing is getting close enough. Like I think closer to this 200, like 205, 210 there, coming back in May and change, as we know that, and I've said this from, I don't know, probably back when the tariffs were announced or even when Trump came into play here, that, you know, part of making nice with the United States is going to have to be planes and trains and automobiles. So you're going to have to order some Boeing here to get going, and I think China does that. We've already seen that from the Saudis and from India. So let's wait and see right now if Boeing can catch another contract. But yeah, there was some worries there about not being able to produce the amount of planes necessary if there was a continued strike or another strike or something. So we're going to have to wait on Boeing. But those are just kind of like buying opportunities, man. I mean, Boeing gets going. I hate that rhymes, but when it gets going, it goes. And we just stopped at the highs again of 237. So you're getting about a 10% haircut right now. 237 down to 215 might be worth something there. Boeing of picking some strength up. before there's some strength, picking some up there in Boeing. But NVIDIA right now is almost $2 now in the money to the downside. So we're doing it. We're doing it live with you every single day. And there it goes. Nice little downside trade here for NVDA. Crypto 115.6. That's not overly healthy right now either.
Yeah, Bitcoin lost that 116, unfortunately. It hasn't been doing too good. Yesterday was a really good day for Bitcoin. Well, it was a good day for Bitcoin. I don't want to... It wasn't that big, but it was a pretty solid day for Bitcoin. I want to leave it at that. PDD comes in not quite to the volume-weighted average price, but all the Chinese tech stocks were up this morning, and we're up overnight. I should say overnight because in trading overnight, I mean, Baidu was up like 16%, something ridiculous. Baidu was up, and Alibaba was up as well. But PDD is the one that seems like it's the weakest. We went over it on the daily chart, but I just took the first shot at it at 133 instead of 133.5. I just want to look only southbound on this bad boy. So ideally, I want the 133. I'm in at 60s because I couldn't get 80s. I'm going to try and get some 80s here and throw my stop. I don't want to give it to VWAP. It's not that time of day. Still the same plan of action for the Big Bear not because it's Fed day, but I think just because of the nature of the market. Like the longs that I like are going to be in things that I don't think have to correlate to the Nasdaq. So whether it's earlier with Baba doing its own thing or OpenAI or BBAI, those are the ones that I'm going to like. Out into 6 and $6 break is still going to be the play. And DD just said his play is short. Dave and Buster's, they just reported and it wasn't very good. So I'm not going to call it a short here. I shorted this yesterday, but we always talk about the 3-day rule for a stock. After earnings, well, it held a higher low. So yeah, it was a short this level yesterday at 21 and it went to 20. That's fine. But it held that 20 area and then held it again today. So it's kind of a double bottom. I start to prefer to play for a long when a stock double bottoms after that and look for like a continuation to try to fill the gap. So I'm not shorting it up here. I did yesterday, but not today. I like it the day after earnings, and if it doesn't, like flat out did not follow through. Like it went the dollar down and then could not break. Same support level could not break again today. So not for me, but I'm glad you brought it up because we should pay attention to these day 2, day 3 earnings plays when they're out there. Sure, when Micron reports next week, we're not going to look at it the day after and then ignore it, after that. Micron will be a stock that we care about all week next week. I think they're the last decent, they're the last decent sized name to report, I believe. Is Micron. Yeah, probably. Yeah, the biggest one. Anyways, I'm actually surprised how late they report. I think there's there's recent IPOs and stuff like that. Report a little bit later sometimes. I guess, but yeah, Micron's always late. That's really weird about Micron, isn't it? Okay, so. Look, more covers there. I mean, what do you guys want to do? We've already talked about this sort of live leaderboard right here. We've gone over, it's OpenDoor that is really crushing everything right now. So LYFT, Marvell, Tesla, Big Bear. All right, I'm resetting this. Let's give this thing a fresh start. There's only 10 minutes left, so we don't have too much time left. So we'll get a fresh start right now. Just put into $, whatever you want there in the chat. It'll start populating, and then it'll show up over here, and that'll give Neil and I an idea of kind of the names you guys are looking at, and then we can adjust our expectations from there as well. Oscar down. Yeah, Oscar's not doing that great today, down to $17. It hit that high of around $21 OSCR. So this is a name that I'm in at around 13 before earnings. So OSCR, we did take a little bit out, but like 10% out in and around that 20, or I think it was like 1950 or something to the upside there for Oscar. Yeah, so its high was 20. I was getting out ahead of 20 on the way up there, and then it broke. It got to $20.50 or so. We got some out right here at 1950, but we got out on the way up, not on the way down. And so right now we're gonna hold out for it. I still like the name. We talked about them. The app, apparently a good one there. I don't know, many of you, obviously in the United States, we don't have anything like this over here, but Oscar right now, a nice little bounce back to the upside for OSCR. Yeah, we don't need technology over in Canada. And then right into here, IBIT down today, not good, right? Nice downside play there. As we've talked about it for a long time, that it follows
what's going on in the Nasdaq. So there it is right now, IBIT, almost identical. There's the Nasdaq straight down, there's IBIT straight down. So for today at least anyways, don't at me, but IBIT right now, nicely. If IBIT was following the Nasdaq, right, Bitcoin would be at 125 right now, and it's not. So there goes IBIT to the downside. We'll see what winds up happening when Fed comes. I think the Fed interest rate announcement is a bullish idea for crypto. So I am excited for that. So, all right, we're all ready to go to Adara for her update.
Money talk?
Ahead of that interest rate announcement, the U.S. dollar is at its lowest level, almost its lowest level all year. Our year low here we made on July 1st. That was going to be around 96.37, currently trading around 96.73. So lots of weakness in the U.S. dollar as we await the interest rate announcement. Now, as we've all said many times, we are expecting a 25-point basis cut that is widely priced in. And there was lots of, for lack of a better term, drama and events surrounding the Fed heading up to this announcement. We will have Lisa Cook remaining in her seat, even though we did have Donald Trump announcing her firing on a Truth Social post. And Fed's Myron was confirmed in the nick of time to replace Fed's Kugler. So that's going to be the lineup here. We had 2 dissenting votes last time for the first time in 3 decades. Let's see if we get any dissent this time, because we know that certain Fed members, including Fed's Waller and specifically one of the 2 dissenting voters, he's advocated for a potential 50 basis point cut in September, should the data reflect that. So we'll have to wait and see what ends up coming of this meeting. Now, here's the CME Fed Watch tool. As we expected, about 94% of participants wanting that 25 basis point cut, but another 6% saying that we could get 50. Let's see what the Fed decides on. Either way, should be a really interesing one. Back to you.
The dissents should be interesting.
Yeah, I want to see where everybody lies. Is there anybody that dissents to? Like, I know there's going to be dissents that want a 50 base point cut, but it's more, did anyone say we don't want to cut at all? Because I think if that happens, you've got the president speaking after as well. And I would imagine there's going to be some strong, if anybody disagreed with cutting at all, that's going to be a big deal. Just to give you another update on StubHub here, it's up to $25. I just want to give a bit of context on almost all the bigger IPOs, and this is on the larger size. By now, the open interest in the opening print would be more than 800,000 shares. It would be in the million. It would be over 1 million. And on top of that, you would have had more than 2350 to 24 or 25. Like, that's not very big. Like, usually we're sitting here thinking it's going to open up 30, 40% higher than the issue price. Right now, it's giving you, I don't want to call it nothing burger, but not the level of excitement or exuberance. It's just not as, it's just not giving me the feels that we're going to get parabolic here on Stub. I'll still probably take the print, but definitely size down a bit here on Stub. We'll keep giving you guys updates. You know, we can look and see, well, it's at 25, maybe it moves to 27, let you guys know. Maybe that turns into a big buy imbalance and it looks a little bit better. We'll always keep you guys updated to the best of our abilities, for sure. Ooh, John Del Segno, that's a name that we've ignored. LUMN Technologies. I'm surprised there hasn't been more chatter about this one, because it just feels like it fits the DNA of some of our viewers. Like, they announced a deal with Palantir,
right?
And since then, like, look at the stock at $5. Sorry, bounce, break 5, hold at 200, hold 5, pull back, hold a higher low. Like, it's making a nice little move here. Is that LUMN? Another update today, 7%. I don't know if there's a news story. I just know the one from a couple of weeks ago was a Palantir partnership, and it's clearly broken trend, like rounded bottom, breaking trend. So LUMN, there's another good one, 8% up. If you're looking for longs today, it's probably somewhere like LUMN or IonQ or Rigetti or Open, something along those lines, because, or like, you know, like Walmart and Costco and that kind of stuff. But if you're looking for it in like some kind of a techie name, then you got to go to the small caps here today and just pick your spots. Ooh, PDD. I got one take profit on PDD. One. And then Pinduoduo, the only Chinese name that's actually in the index, by the way. Mm-hmm. Which I always find that very interesting. Yeah, what's so special about PDD? Why it's in the index and none of the others are? No, it's holding consolidation, but it's not at VWAP. So I'll take a shot at 133. But if it doesn't break down here, I gotta wait for the better level at VWAP to get tested. So I we still like, in general sense, when I look at this trend, it's still in an upward trend. It's just a rejection of this about 133 area here on the daily chart that makes me want to try for snipes. If that turns into a topping tail candle, then usually it's like short for a couple of days. So as long as it's holding around this area, I want to take some shots at it. They've been strong, and I say they, I mean the Chinese names, all day long because the news was arrows up. I mean, Alibaba Alibaba fresh highs, 52-week highs. I want to say all-time highs, but it's not. It's not even close. It's like 380 or something on Alibaba. But this one's off to the races. I just like this busting through levels and PDD still holding underneath. So as long as it's holding underneath levels, I think there's a chance to take it. BABA could just break out the top at some point here. It's not yet, but like you look at that pre-market level, it could easily break out the top. And here's the other thing. If you're at real trading, Alibaba, so this is it last night in Blue Ocean. You think you could have traded overnight? That's actually, it's cleaner in the overnight market than it is today. Like that break, it opens and then just trends up the whole way, holds at 166. What's the level that it's essentially holding right now, which is right around the same price. It's at 166 and leveling off. So resistance from last night is resistance right in here. So if you're not charting the overnight market and you have the ability to, I think you're missing out.
All right, it's a birthday lunch. Let's figure out what it is. All right. Today there've been plenty of these. Neil and I have been trading quite well this morning, so there's been a couple of chicken dinner winners. There's been some chicken dinner winners today, and this is what I thought was yesterday. Remember, I jumped ahead a day, and yesterday's Thai basil beef I thought was actually pretty good. So we liked that one. Always could be better, but today we have Cajun crusted chicken. So it should be okay. Got a little Cajun crust action going on there. We'll see. We'll see if that works out with the vegetarian option, whatever that happens to be. So that's there as well for my veggies as well. I don't know what that is. Couscous corn succotash as well. So yeah, man. Good opportunities today. There, I love the couscous, man. I love the corn. The corn is like one of my daughter's favorites. So although it's not the most healthiest vegetables, of course, but
it's not. It's very sweet. Yeah, that's why it's tasty.
Yeah, lots of sugar in that, and then they have corn oil and starch.
Yeah, right
there. So that is what it is, man. That is what's for lunch. Cajun crusted chicken, right there. Yeah, these we do have new monitors. They're 24-inch.
I think they're bigger than that.
27-inch right there. So all four of us got all new setups right now. Now we are elbow length away from our friends to the left here, and you're about to go see Sharif and Joe. And then stay tuned with Neil and myself and the guys here on the midday. Because
we're back a little early.
That's the other thing. I forgot about that. We're back here. I don't know how much earlier we're back. These guys can hold the fort pretty much right into 2. But we'll be back probably 10 minutes earlier, so maybe 5 minutes. If you guys are lucky, it'll be 5 minutes. Right there, StubHub right now. It is $25 right now on the IPO price, so getting a lift from $23.50. So it's going upside there on StubHub heading into this number or the IPO, and it's less than 1 million shares of interest right now. They're releasing 34 million, I thought it was, for sale there today. So Sharif and Joe will go over some of the numbers, and you guys can ask some questions in the chat as well.
There is another one.
It doesn't look like StubHub will open anytime soon, so that's going to be something that we're going to battle with.
For anyone that happens to be interested, I might have seen 1 or 2 people mention the other IPO, like WBI is called Water Bridge Infrastructure. It's also on the NYSE.
Well, that's water under the bridge.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually not that bad. It's like 600 million shares, but that's pretty good. I don't think we take that one. And then there was a couple of questions about some of the ones later on. Pattern Group is Friday, I believe, and that Netscope or whatever, that's tomorrow. So Pattern, someone just asked what the tap was on PTRN. That doesn't open up till Friday, at least when I'm looking at the IPO calendar. So today, StubHub and WBI Water Bridge Group. And of course, the big news is not just the Fed, but the dot plot after, see where the votes come in and where they lie and what Jerome Powell says. Is he going to be hawkish or dovish? We'll see. And we also get the dot plots. We get an idea of where they're looking at in the future because the market seems pretty convinced that we're getting 3/4 points for this year. So that's what we want to compare it against. We'll be back at probably like minutes before 2 o'clock.
Yeah, minutes before. I'll see you going over to the midday show. Thanks, Neil. Great show. Thank you, everybody, for hitting the likes, man. Almost 2,000 likes today. So thanks so much for all of that. And yeah, we're going to go over to the midday. Watch stuff. I mean, I still got to go to Starbucks. I mean, I got my birthday drink. Free birthday
Get
drink.
that free drink.
Hey, you know what I just got too in the email was free 6-inch sub from Subway. That's actually pretty nice.
You get a free sub at Subway?
That's what I was saying. I was like, huh?
That's new.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
they didn't always do that.
I'm not going to dox myself, but here it is right here. A free 6-inch. I'm showing to Neil, the best birthday gift ever.
Well, I don't know about the best birthday gift ever, but it's not bad.
This is what it says.
It's not bad.
I'm not.
Come on. The best ever.
Here it is right here. Yeah, so I'll show it to you guys. Here it is right here. Best 6-inch. A free 6-inch, the best B-Day gift ever. Actually, looks pretty good. That's some bacon action right there. Maybe we'll do that. But no, we'll have lunch here and maybe a sub. Maybe I'll sneak it in for dinner and give the wife. Oh no, we're going. Oh no. We're going to one of my favorite burgers places. One of my favorite burger places. Burgers Priest. That's one of my favorite burger joints. So we're gonna go get some Burgers Priest there tonight, and I'll catch everybody on the flip side, as Neil said.
Yes.
2 p.m. We're back. Join us then for Fed rate cuts. Over to the big guys.
Nope.